Hello. Happiest of Fridays to everybody. Welcome in. I hope you had a good week. My name is Todd. This is the reaction stream where we journey around your fandoms one video at a time. These are all member requested videos, and I'm excited. We have 5 amazing videos for you today. Be very interesting. Hope you stick around and enjoy. Get a drink, something to eat, a little snack maybe. And let's go ahead and jump through this. Now, head on over to toddreacts.com if you haven't already. You can literally guide the stream with the member requested videos. The season tier gets you 2 videos per month, and the series tier gets you 3 videos per month. Simple enough, right? Straightforward, basically. So check that out. And while you're there, check out the winter collection of merch that is leaving in just over 36 days. You can see it at the top there. There's a little countdown. Very exciting stuff. I've been working on the summer collection, so that should be coming soon. I'm very pleased with it so far, but I've got some work left to do, and then I'll be getting some samples to just test them out and make sure they're all ready to go. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Hope you are as well. Ships worldwide. Quality is guaranteed on every single order, and members of the website save 15% off every purchase automatically. No code or anything like that. It comes off the cart as long as you're logged in. And yeah, you can see I'm currently wearing the signature hoodie. Available in 3 different colors. There you go. There it is. It's an Under Armour hoodie, so it's very nice quality. Goes from small to 2XL, and of course, every clothing item has a nice little size guide in inches and centimeters, so you can check out what you need. And you can see it down here. Always check out the more information because there's tons more information to look into. But the quality guarantee and returns is right under every single item. You can check that out. And if you purchase a product, certainly head on down to the bottom of the page and go ahead and leave a review. I would appreciate it greatly. I just installed the review system on the website. Very excited for that. Leave a review so other people can know what you like, know what your thoughts are, basically. Lots of other great items, as you can see, so check them out. Lots of colors as well. Accessories, those don't leave when the summer collection drops, but they do get added to. I have a couple more items that I will be adding to this June 1st. So look out for June 1st. That's basically the countdown day here. Rocks glass is literally in front of me. It's got the energy drink in it to give me a little pick-me-up after a long day of work. It is an ominous, I don't even know what to call this, amber, I guess. Great rocks glass. I appreciate it tremendously. And because it is Friday, we do like to partake in a little bit of, some people call it liquid courage. Others call it a adult beverage, whatever you want to call it. Got the pint glass here. It is a lovely pint glass. Very, pint glasses always have that very interesting, density to them. Like you think they're going to be light, and then you pick one up, you're like, oh, that's a lot of glass. It's very interesting. Very sturdy, indeed. But I got the pint glass in front of me, of course, and of course, as well, the insulated tumbler in mint green. Comes in a bunch of different colors for you to choose from as well. I got the mint. And yeah, keeps my water nice and cold throughout the stream, so I appreciate that greatly. Obviously, there's many more accessories to look at. So I'm excited. I am very excited for the new items to hit the store, and for everybody to take a look. Maybe I'll be posting some sneak peeks here and there on the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join. And of course, if you're not there already, the YouTube Todd Reacts channel. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, I urge you to do so. It just kind of tells the algorithm that you would like to see more videos, and then it puts it on your homepage. I know a lot of us just stick to our homepage and just kind of go with the algorithm. So this kind of tells the algorithm, hey, I like this channel. I like this content. Whenever there's a new one, go ahead and try to put it in front of my face. And hopefully YouTube follows along with that. But it's just a nice way to ensure that you're getting these on your feed. Of course, there's over 1,100 videos on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't headed over there, go ahead and check it out. I mean, if you're watching live via Twitch, which this is streamed live via Twitch, and you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, you've got a lot of backlog to catch up on. Let me know how that goes. Let me know how that goes. All right. Last but certainly not least, of course, join the community. Join the conversation, frankly. It is the Discord, available for free. The link is everywhere. It's on every profile. It's on the YouTube profile. It's under every single YouTube video in the links, video description. It's on the Twitch profile. It's on the website in the top right. You see a little Discord logo. It's everywhere. As you can see at the top, it does tell you when I'm live, which is super handy. And if you have notifications on, it'll actually tell you when I am live. Pop it up on your phone or device. Awesome. And I do try to keep the schedule of events updated as much as possible. So you can go by that and kind of trust it, of course. And if you don't see a channel that you really want and you want to add to the Discord in any way, certainly request it via the Request a Channel channel. If it's fandom related, if it's just a community post and it's a fun idea, just let us know and then we'll make it for you. And then maybe other people will enjoy it. There you go. Right now there is over, I think it's, 222 Trip 2s, 222 members in the Discord, including yours truly. So go ahead and join us. Lots of us having wonderful conversations. I'm just kind of scrolling through so you can kind of get a feel for what's in there. As well, community posts, community channels, I guess they're called. Lots of great stuff in there as well. And of course, there's members-only areas for members of the website. Pretty awesome. It's actually pretty cool how that works. So if you sign up on the website, just to kind of give you a lowdown here, if you sign up on the website and you connect your Discord to the website, a bot will actually assign you whatever tier you sign up for. If you sign up for season tier, it'll show you the season areas of the Discord. If you sign up for the series area, it'll show you the series area. And if you're, one or the other, it won't show you the other ones. It's kind of fascinating how that works. I have no idea how that works. But pretty cool. So, and if you change tiers, it'll actually change your tier and make things disappear, make things show up. It's pretty awesome. But go ahead and join us. Join the conversation. We're looking forward to it. We're nice. We don't bite. We're always looking for more opinions and people that are interested in what we're interested in. And it's really cool. I mean, friends have been made in the Discord. That is awesome. That is so neat. I started it because I was like, YouTube comments are not exactly the greatest place to have conversations. The Discord is a totally continuous place where you can have long conversations with people and post photos and videos and links to other posts and all that stuff. Pretty awesome. So go ahead and check it out. If you've never used Discord before, there is a bit of a learning curve. But I believe you can figure it out. I certainly do. Like I said, happy Friday, everybody. I didn't know what today was going to be like, honestly. So Wednesday, I was working on the summer collection of merch, and I left the computer for a little bit, came back, and the right monitor that I had is actually the original monitor I had for this channel. And before, slightly. I had a podcast before this. And it was ghosting like crazy. If you don't know what that means, it basically means there's images just burned into the LCD that just stay there. So you could move a window over it and it would still be there. I was like, what is happening? Clearly this is not good. I think this thing is dying. And I was like, well, how long have I had it? And I went back in my Amazon account. I've had this thing for almost 9 years and just using it, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I guess maybe it is a lot. But yeah, it just completely went back to normal as of right now. Like it's working fine. So I have no idea what's happening. I don't think it was a glitch because screens don't really have glitches, really. I mean, it's mostly a sign of things to come. So I think it'll eventually kick the bucket, as they say. So what I did is I ordered a couple new monitors. This one's a little newer, but not by much. So I figured, you know what? If this one's showing signs that it's going to go, let's not take that risk. Because the last thing I need is, it's Thursday night and then a monitor goes down or maybe both goes down. And then I'm just like, what do I do? How do I do this? Like, I need monitors like crazy because I have literally open like a little script so I don't forget what I'm doing. I have the chat, of course, so I can see what you're saying. I have obviously the videos and the information windows, of course. I guess I could have that all in one window, but that would be so confusing, clicking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I have them in different windows. The information, of course, and then the Discord pulled up so I can scroll through that. And then up there, I have a third monitor. I got a little tiny one just to house the OBS. So that's how all this live editing stuff happens. So I just have that up there just to, keep it out of the way. I don't need it all the time. It's nice to check on it every once in a while. Maybe I'll look at like, are we dropping frames? How's the internet? Am I live still? All those kinds of things. So yeah, I do need monitor space. So if one goes down, I think I would be absolutely screwed. So we're going to try to prevent that by being proactive, not reactive. That's gonna happen. So those show up on Sunday. Looking forward to it. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's kick off the weekend, shall we? First video is going to be Grey's Anatomy, followed by a Charmed video, focus on Paige Matthews, and then we're going to do a Veronica Mars video. And then we have another Charmed video. And what's funny is I choose these videos at complete random. So if you're unfamiliar, if this is the first time here, maybe a return viewer, I basically take all the requests and put them in a list. And then I just randomly pick throughout that list and just slot them into days. So the fact that I chose 2 Charm videos out of that big list is crazy. But hey, if you're a Charm fan, or maybe you're just learning what it's about and you have no idea what it's going to be, you're in for a treat. And then we're going to end the stream and kick off the weekend formally with a School Spirits TikTok edit compilation. So that should be fun. I can't remember if I've reacted to School Spirits before. I don't think I have. Maybe I have. I don't know. It sounds not familiar. So who knows? My brain is trying to keep up with everything as best that it can. But I do forget things from time to time. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into the first one. It is Joe and Andrew, Look After You. And it is Grey's Anatomy. I have it pulled up here, ready to go. Boom. There it is. All its glory. Wait, why am I kind of like in the middle of the frame? Let me change that. I'm looking at it like, wait, what? Why? Why am I? It's no sense. I must have moved it for some reason. Oh, I'm up too. Jeez. I'm getting dizzy. Moving so much. All right, there we go. Perfect. Now I'm in the corner. Go ahead and swap it. Go. And we will jump into it. This is Joe and Andrew, Look After You. What's the song? Give you the song. Oh, it's Look After You by The Fray. I don't know if I've heard this song before. I'm definitely aware of The Fray, of course. All right, let's go.
Joe?
Oh, I've heard this.
Andrew, can you stay with Joe, please?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, don't leave her side. It's important.
Oh, those prepared sandwiches look so good. Oh my god. Cookies are massive.
Joe's been through enough. She doesn't need to live her life being scared.
Did you tell them? Did you tell them about it?
I wouldn't do that, okay? You picked a bad guy, Joe. A guy who hurts you or hurts other people, and you deserve better.
Ooh.
Maybe you can't see that, but I do.
Wow.
You're not okay. You're not yourself. Listen to people when they tell you that. Get help before it's too late.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I am. I'm good, actually.
You said you showed up in court. I thought you care.
I do care. I care about what Alex did to Andrew. That's what I care about.
What's up, Luke? Oh, nice.
He was good. He was noble.
Okay.
He was sweet. And he was brave.
Did I call him? Oh, I called him Timu Henry Cavill. Oh, jeez.
Talking to you is probably one of the only good things to come out of this year.
You make the right choice. You always do.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Those are bold words there. I'm still stuck on that one line. Talk about it in a second here.
Joe would say she's pretty good at taking care of herself. How should she have to?
Good grief. He is getting absolutely battered.
I'm so incredibly grateful to have known him.
Oh my gosh. Wow. He is, wow. I don't know what was causing all that. Was he getting into bar fights? Good grief. Was he moving in on other people's women? No, it seemed like he was trying to do a friendly thing. But yeah, those are bold words to be like, you're with a bad guy. You know, you deserve better. I mean, hopefully that is not meaning that she's in a, gosh, how do I say this? How do I get around YouTube and stuff? In a bad situation where bad things are happening to her. You know what I mean? Gosh, those are bold words. Bold. Usually you hear those words and it's coming from somebody that's trying to move in or something. Like it's, oh man, this is wild. Why is this not? Something's up. Something's wrong. Oh, there it is. Same actor? Nice. Pull up some information here. Actually, I just totally what I wanted to do here. I threw a like on it without saying it. That was an excellent edit. If you'd like to check out the original, link down below in the YouTube description. I will throw it in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live. There you go. Getting ahead of myself. Alrighty. Pull up that information now. On Joe. Quote. This is Meredith Grey to Joe. Oh boy. Not looking good. I think it is the situation I was trying. Violence isn't your birthright or your inheritance. It's something you survived because you are the opposite of that. You have an enormous will, an enormous heart, an enormous capacity for survival. You've taken all this darkness and used it to help other people who are walking through the same. You line that hallway with women to help that woman who was hurting badly just hurt a little bit less. Taken your darkest experiences that life gave you and turned it around and turned it into light. If you If the woman who gave birth to you doesn't want to see that, that's on her. Well, obviously she has a kind of a cold or distant relationship with her own mother, which is not great. Seems like a pretty heated, just from this first sentence here, pretty heated relationship with her family. I don't know if it's specifically her mother, but good grief. Following her estranged husband's death, she married Alex until he left her for his ex-wife. Oh. She is the mother of Luna. She's currently in a relationship with Atticus and is pregnant with his twins. Look at all the aliases. Whoa. That is a lot. So she's been through it. She's definitely been through some heartbreak, I would say. Early life. Let's figure this out. Oh, geez. At only 5 days old, Jo was left by her mother at a fire station. Shuffled among numerous foster homes until 16 when she began living independently out of her car. Her teacher would let her into the school building early to use the showers and do the laundry. Jo worked furiously to get through school, graduating as high school valedictorian and moving on to Princeton. Okay, that's great. If you're unfamiliar with Princeton, it's a Ivy League school. It's a very good school. Where she graduated cum laude. Wilson then attended Harvard Medical School, obviously a very good medical school, where she graduated at the top of her class. Wilson confessed to Alex that her teacher was the only person who supported her and thus the only one at her graduation. Oof, that is brutal. Oh, here we go. That's what it is. Jo revealed that she is married to Andrew. She said, quote, "When I bought something wrong, he'd hit me in my face or my stomach. Being done with his abusive behavior, Jo fled to somewhere he'd never find her, Seattle." She claimed that if she tried to divorce him, he would find her. Jo kept her past confidential until after Alex proposed, when she drunkenly confesses to Andrew that was the reason. Probably why she had to say no. She also admitted that Jo Wilson isn't her name. Her real name is, oh my gosh, Brooke Stadler. It makes sense. She kind of put herself into, what's it called? Witness protection program that I think the FBI runs. Where they basically give you a new name, new identity, move you. You have no contact with anyone previously, and it's really hard to find you, and all that stuff. Wow. That is quite the story. So that explains the violence, quote, and that also explains pretty tragic. I don't want to say tragic life, but tragic experiences. Obviously, it's a good life. She's got some children. She's engaged, all that good stuff. So she's finding her way into a better situation. Quickly learned, along with other interns, to fear Meredith Grey, dubbing her Medusa. It's funny. Very, very funny. That's too bad that she got away from her estranged husband and then the new guy left her to live with his ex. Good grief. Awful. Oh no, she's dating. Oh no, fiance. Yeah. All right, we got some back and forth there. Expecting twins. Okay. Very nice. Cool. I like that. Little redemption arc for Jo. I guess Brooke. Andrew. Here's Andrew. To Alex. Oh boy. Oh yeah, because you didn't want me to tell the cops that you beat me up. You came to me in my hospital room when I was jacked up on painkillers After I was never going to see you again, you tried and then you never talked to me again. I saw you almost every day. I worked for your friends every day. I knew what happened that night. I knew what you were thinking. I knew why you hit me. And if you would have just treated me like a human being, if you would have just talked to me, maybe we could have avoided all this. The general surgeon, until his death, developed a romantic relationship with Meredith. Alias Mr. Secret Lover. Also Lover Boy. Jeez. Let's see. Beating by Alex. Let's look into this. When Andrew was helping Joe get into bed after a night of drinking. Here we go. Oh, God. That's when doing a nice thing looks bad. Looks really bad. Alex walked in and saw Andrew on top of her. That probably fell over trying to, like, help put her in, too. That's crazy. Assuming that Andrew was forcing himself on her, Alex violently physically assaulted. How about just Alex assaulted Andrew, leading to the former temporarily injuring his hand and the latter sustaining several critical injuries, as we saw. I mean, he was absolutely destroyed in that bed. Like, it was pretty bad. When Andrew decided to press charges, Alex and his attorney thought it was for a misdemeanor, but quickly learned that the state had upped the charge to felony assault, probably because it was that bad of a beating. Alex pled not guilty. Later, Alex went to the DA's office to take a plea deal, but Andrew unexpectedly walked in and tried to drop all charges against Alex. When he was told that since the case belonged to the state, he could not do that. Oof. He threatened to sabotage the case. Oh, gosh. Which attorney said was a slam dunk. Andrew walked out before Alex could understand why he decided to drop the charges. Who eventually had a conversation outside the hospital in which Andrew says that he did it to protect Joe and expressed frustration that Alex never apologized when he had the chance. Hey, man, sorry I absolutely destroyed you. Gosh. Oh, boy. That's not good. That is really not good. It's just one of those situations, you know, where it looks like it's something and it's not. Instead of asking questions or taking a beat to figure out what's going on, you just immediately lash out. Which I get. If you get heated, it's kind of hard to pull back, but dang. One evening, Joe was drunk and Andrew took her home. Joe confessed that she couldn't marry Alex, because she was already married. So she did admit it to Andrew. When Alex came home, he saw Andrew on top of Joe. Yep. Andrew tried to defend himself, but Alex repeatedly punched Andrew, obviously. Shortly afterward, Alex was arrested. Yep. When Joe learned that she would have to testify, she worried that she would have to talk about her husband. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that clarifies it for sure. Grey's Anatomy, 10 facts about Andrew many fans don't know. DeLuca first appeared in season 11. As previously stated, during his first couple of seasons, DeLuca just basically faded into the background. Not much was known about him, and he didn't particularly contribute anything and worthwhile to the storylines. As such, many fans would be forgiven for not realizing that his debut episode was actually the penultimate episode of season 11. His first full season was 12. The other interns didn't like him. Never really got to know any of his peers, as they were even blander than he was. Oh, the annoying blonde one had a few scenes. Okay. Shots fired. And there was the Brian fainting one. Or the brain fainting one. But fans likely can't actually remember their names off the top of their head. All viewers knew about DeLuca's fellow interns was that they didn't like him because they thought he pretended to be an attending on purpose to gain favor with the actual attendees. This led them to shun him, who was left without any friends or a place to live. Who would have thought surgeons could be so petty? Well, everybody's gunning for, lead surgeon or whatever. It's just, I would say, this is coming from someone who's not a part of it. Just going off what I've seen. But I would assume a hospital is about as competitive as a law firm of just backstabbing, gossip, vying for the same role with a bunch of people and, hoping you come out on top kind of thing. DeLuca lived with Arizona for a while. DeLuca's increasing homelessness was obviously a problem and one that was only going to get worse. Happily, Arizona was also in a bit of a pickle. Since she and Callie had split up in the previous season, she needed a roommate to share the living costs, and they were roommates. You remember that? Unfortunately, she had no takers because everyone was intimidated by a strong and capable woman. The unfortunate truth women in society face. I don't know if that has any relation to being a roommate with somebody. Arizona was getting increasingly desperate and annoyed, so when DeLuca moved in, she originally thought he was doing it as a joke. Fortunately, though, he wasn't, and the two lived together for a surprisingly long time. They also became good friends, although this wasn't touched upon much in the series. Living with someone is very difficult. You could think, you're the bestest of friends. This is huge at university, right? You're friends with somebody in high school or whatever in school. And then you go to live together at university and you realize very quickly either, yeah, this person's great. I could totally live with them. Or you realize, boy, this person's really great in small doses, kind of a slob, or maybe they're too neat. And I don't like living with this person 24/7. I like hanging with them every once in a while, but I don't know about nightly and daily and all that stuff. So it's amazing how many friendships actually break up after living with somebody, or even relationships. You think you're in love with somebody and then you live with them and you're like, never mind. It's amazing how often that happens. It's very, very interesting. That's why they always say, live with somebody before, you live with them forever or get married or, I heard this a lot going off to university is just wait till you live with them. It can be very different. His father was a famous doctor until he went mad. That's an interesting storyline. Season 15 of Grey's Anatomy really started to make DeLuca far more three-dimensional, first by having him fancy Meredith, and then having him slowly reveal that he was also the child of a famous surgeon. Unlike Meredith or even Jackson, however, DeLuca's family were famous for all the wrong reasons. Father was a surgeon back in Italy and suffered from a manic episode. DeLuca Sr. operated on 7 different patients consecutively without food, drink, or sleep and killed 4. Oh my God. Because of his connections, DeLuca's father got away with it consequence-free, but his family was ripped apart by the incident. That's crazy. 7 different patients back to back to back to back to back to back to back without food, drink, or sleep. Hold on. After, I don't know, 2 of them die? Good grief. Was there anyone else in the room? Was it just kind of alone in there? Good grief. He had an unrequited crush on Joe. Yeah, that was very obvious from that edit, by the way. His crush sort of sprang up out of thin air. One minute, DeLuca was dating Maggie, and the next he had suddenly decided they liked Joe, who was in a relationship with Alex at the time. Although, to be fair, things weren't exactly going swimmingly between the two. This crush was just way more hassle than anyone could have predicted. First, DeLuca had to help and absolutely smashed Joe back to her apartment, drunk. Then he got pulverized by Alex. And finally, he got rejected by Joe, not once, but twice. Ouch. Really had to feel for the poor guy at that point. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. At that point, you just kind of fade into the background. Fade into the background. Especially if it ends with you ending up in a hospital. Like, what? DeLuca dated, dumped Maggie Pierce. This was a relationship that could have gone quite cute if it wasn't so awkward to watch. In fairness, this was mostly down to Maggie and her neurotic behavior when it came to dating her subordinates. Essentially, Maggie found DeLuca attractive and she liked him, but she was embarrassed because he was an intern. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Oh. However, just when things looked like they would be looking up for he's not going to be an intern forever, right? That's not a thing. Like just once an intern, always an intern. Just when things looked like they would be looking up for the couple who had come out to their colleagues with no consequences, DeLuca suddenly decided, seemingly out of thin air, that he would rather not be dating Maggie because all his peers assumed he was using her to get surgeries. Oh. This was a complete U-turn and made DeLuca look like a jerk. Yeah, it would. It would. Because the fact that she had to get over the fact that she was embarrassed that he was an intern, and then they both came out to, the rest of the staff, and then he's just like, now it looks like I'm using you, so bye. Gosh. His mother died when he was young. And it's an essential skill for every employee at Grace Sloan Memorial to have at least one tragedy happen in their life before coming to the hospital. We know Grace is a medical drama, but it's a bit of an odd hiring policy, to say the least. Luca turned out to be no exception. His mother died when he was young. Fairly vague about how or why. Went to Italy to visit DeLuca's sister. Karina then called him, telling DeLuca to come quickly because their mom was severely ill. When DeLuca arrived, his mom had died before Karina even made the call. She had to lie because she wanted to give him the news in person. What? That is mysterious. Sounds like a 48 Hours episode. DeLuca worked as an EMT before going to medical school. Before going to medical school and training to be a surgeon, decided to become an EMT. Said that he was extremely passionate about his EMT job and that it was what convinced him to go to med school to train to become a proper doctor. However, being an EMT also had some massive drawbacks. On only his second call-out, was asked to assist with an MVC involving a mother and a young child. DeLuca set to work on the mother, trying to help her, but she was only focused on one thing, her dead toddler in her arms. DeLuca said that her cries were the one reason that he didn't want to go into pediatrician. Aye. Yeah, I've said this before. I knew somebody who was an EMT, and it was absolutely tearing him up because he was dealing with some of the worst, like people that were like drug addicts and strung out and, got in terrible accidents, like involving knives and just everything you could possibly think of. Some drunk college kid, university kid tried to steal the ambulance and he had to like tackle him and like sit on him until the cops came. Somebody died in his ambulance while he was working on him, and it's just horrific stuff happening. And of course, obviously, we need those people because it's very important. Seconds matter when you're dealing with life and death. If you're calling an ambulance, chances are it's not because you need a ride. It's because something bad's happened, and you need somebody to help get you there, at least to the hospital in one piece. Your real name is Andrea. Or Andrea, probably, I think. Luca's Italian and was born in Italy and lived there for a number of years before moving to the U.S. with his mother. Having left his father after he killed a number of patients while suffering a manic episode. Because of his Italian heritage, it was a bit odd that he was introduced as Andrew in his debut episode. So he and Joe, a.k.a. Brooke, kind of share that in common. Luca was drunk when he and Meredith shared their first kiss. Season 14 viewers got to know DeLuca marginally better, as it turned out that he had history with one of the new interns, Sam Bello. Fortunately, Bello soon fell victim to the traditional Grey's habit of making all interns annoying, incompetent morons. Even more unfortunately, DeLuca didn't realize this and started dating Bello. Later on in the season, Bello was forced to leave for Switzerland, leaving DeLuca utterly devastated by the loss. After all, it's not like they have cell phones or internet in the Alps. During Alex and Joe's wedding, oh gosh. And the fact that he had to go to that, DeLuca had too much to drink and drunkenly made out with a surprised yet flattered Meredith. That's not surprising. It reminds me of that, oh gosh, what a great song. Better music video. It's Thomas Rhett, Marry Me. It is a great music video. I highly recommend it. Very similar to that storyline. All right. Excellent. Obviously, Joe has been through a lot. That is not great. Sounds like she had a happy ending, at least, which is good. And Andrew, not so much. Not so much. That's rather unfortunate. But unfortunately, when you're in Grey's Anatomy, expect the worst. That's what I'm starting to gather. But boy, that's too bad. Obviously, I'm assuming the creator of that edit really wanted them together, and it just wasn't the right time, maybe, or wrong person. I have no idea. But it's too bad. Definitely too bad. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. It is Paige Matthews. That's literally what this video is called. And it is, of course, from Charmed. The editor said, I love the character Paige, and the only thing I wish they'd done with the show was show more of Paige and her adoptive parents. Also, Patty and Sam, too. A reunion between the three would have been amazing. An episode with all her parents would have been emotional. Go ahead and jump into this and see what it's like. Obviously a big fan of Paige, which usually means the video is going to be quite good. All right, let's jump into it.
Yeah. Well, pardon me, it didn't seem like much of a reward. Because without being witches, I wouldn't have sisters. This is Piper. Paige. My name is Paige. It was family night, something we did every week, and my dad left the fire station early to pick up my mom and I. Your dad was a firefighter? Yeah. And I started bitching. I was too old for this, and I was super lame. Oh my God, I missed you so much. And he just lost it. He was so angry with me. He was so angry with me. He didn't see the car that swerved into our lane. And the next thing I know, I'm on the pavement. The car's on fire.
Oh, yikes.
I still don't know why I survived and they didn't.
But you can't blame yourself for that.
Well, I feel guilty every single day. Let go of me! I have to save them!
They're gone.
I deserve it. I do. All I can say for myself is that I'm searching, and one day I will find myself.
Paige.
Let me finish.
to not only go through that experience, but to blame yourself over it would just be absolutely so self-destructive, but also understandable. I mean, how can you not feel partially to that? Oh gosh. And to have your last moments with somebody be like an argument or standoffish at all, like that is just so unfortunate.
I'll find myself because of you two. You shaped who I am. I am not a bad daughter. You did not raise a bad daughter.
But you gotta try and move forward.
How can I move forward, Piper? I killed my parents. Why did you bring me back here? Why? What happened in your past? Well, I found out I was not responsible for the accident.
Of course.
I thought I could stop the accident.
You couldn't stop the accident because it was never your fault.
What? Oh, what happened?
Then what's the matter?
They would have died anyway. It was their destiny. Just like it was your destiny to be saved by magic.
That's how I got out of the car. I orbed out.
That's right.
I can always orb.
Magic's always been inside of you. It saved you because you were meant to do great things with it, and you have. And you will. Don't you see? This is what you came back here to find, what caused the accident. Why you survived it.
Hey, Henry.
You need to forgive yourself.
I just need you to hang on, okay? Just a little longer.
The fact that this actually happens and not infrequently is very tragic. You know, I drive a lot for, getting to work and everything, living life. I'm sure you do too. Or maybe you take public transport or something like that. Like bad situations like this happen all the time. And you look up some of the stats sometimes, or maybe it says it on a billboard or something, and you're just like, wow, guess I'm lucky every time I go out and nothing happens. Like, yes, kind of. It is very humbling to know that literally every moment you live could be your last. And by doing things that we just take for granted as normal things, like driving or going to work or going to the grocery store or whatever, could literally be your last. And you're just upping the amount of risk to your life for just something that we see as normal. Like when you get to a certain age, you get a driver's license or whatever, and then you just do that for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, you're barely thinking of, maybe it's subconsciously thinking that you're adding this element to your life that is potentially tragic. Like, it's just weird. It's very weird. But then again, we can't live in fear, right? We can't live with that thought constantly. Every time you get in a car, you're not thinking about it. Otherwise, you wouldn't go anywhere. And you would just, I don't know, just be at home all the time, I guess. Gosh, it is so mind-blowing how weird life is. When you sit there and you actually think about everything we do. Crazy.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
I'm not trying to be fake deep either. I'm just thinking
no.
about, like, boy, if you really ponder it, it can be weird.
I'll never know again. It just makes me sad that my parents won't see us or I've become.
Actually, that's not quite true.
Interesting.
We know who you are, honey, who you've become.
We've been with you every step of the way, and we're so proud of you, sweetheart. hold that precious little baby of yours in your arms. And you love her more than you ever loved anything in this
Oh,
world.
God.
And then you give her to someone else to raise
Oh,
and
dang.
grow up with.
You and Mom did that to protect Paige.
All I wanted was a life for her free from magic and demons.
No, it was not. Paige saved us. She is the reason I am still standing here. She brought this family back together.
Oh, come on. You know, pretty amazing, Paige. I mean, a year ago, you were an only child. And I don't want to be again.
She's done so much good. All the pain and anger that you've been holding on for so many years, you've got to let it go. It's time to let it go.
I am so sorry.
It's okay. I felt drawn.
So the effects are a little aged. It happens.
Part of me trying to find out who it was.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good grief. Link down below in the original video. Throw it some love, as I will do right now. That was lovely. That was absolutely lovely. The, oh gosh. The reuniting with the parents scene. Oh. Oh God. That is absolutely brutal, tragic, and lovely all at the same time. Go ahead and throw that link in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live, so you can throw it some love, and also check out the channel. They might have other videos that interest you as well. Oh my gosh. Ooh. That scene of reuniting with her parents. That almost did me in. That almost did me in completely. That was a very sweet gesture. Good grief. All right, let's pull up some information on Paige Matthews. Paige, speaking of magic, quote, magic may work in mysterious ways, but it always works. Here's her in the TV series. Here's her in the comics. Apparently there's comics as well. Youngest of the sisters. Younger maternal half-sister of Prue, Piper, and Phoebe. She is the biological mother of twins, adoptive one of Henry, adopted daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Matthews, and a biological one of Patty, Sam, married to Henry. Left at a local church shortly after her birth by her bio parents, subsequently adopted by her parents, she met her maternal half-sisters Piper and Phoebe. 2001, I almost said 2001. In 2001, after the death of her eldest half-sister Prue, as the daughter of a witch and a white lighter. Paige is the charmed one with the most powers, despite being the youngest and last sister to come into her charmed legacy. Her powers include telekinetic orbing, healing, and the ability to generate an orb shield. Possesses the basic powers of a witch, cast spells, brew potions, scry for lost objects or people, and divine for information. Along with other typical white lighter powers, furthermore, Paige can access the power of 3, collective power of the charmed ones that enhances their powers. Works as a recruiter for a magic school when new witches come into their powers. That's cool. Very nice. I feel like this was a fortunately big moment in her life, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Leo explains to the sisters about Paige's past. Paige's parents died in a car wreck about 8 years ago when she was in high school. She never really dealt with it. At the age of 17, her adoptive parents killed in a terrible car accident. From what she could remember, they didn't see the car that swerved into their lane. Paige survives, suddenly waking up on the pavement, seeing the car totaled and on fire. It would be revealed to Paige after she became a witch that she had subconsciously orbed out of the car after the death of her parents. Paige changed her attitude drastically. She stopped smoking and drinking, and she also started to study harder. She was accepted into UC Berkeley for good grades and a well-written essay on the death of her parents. Later graduated with a degree in social work. Good grief. Yeah, that would change you in more ways than one. Obviously, it's unfortunate, but tragedy has a habit of really making you reassess. Whether that's, appreciating life a little more or changing bad habits or whatever. Like it really shakes you to your core. It could be any sort of trauma that does that. It is very unfortunate that something so horrific has to happen for some to wake up or change or whatever. Yeah, it's too bad. That was heartbreaking to watch. Good grief. And the fact that she was basically basically in kind of a fight with them at the time is just insult to injury, because you want your last moments to be great, right? Hopefully you get to say goodbye, all that good stuff. You get to really, it's like the start of healing, right? Before you're grieving. You get to say goodbye, you get all that stuff out of the way. You have a clear conscience. You're like, okay, it's terrible that they're gone. It hurts. Get through that. And then you can come out the other side and be like, well, at least I got to, whatever. But to have it end like that, that would take, I think, years of healing to come out the other side. Like, good grief. I can't even imagine what that would be like. Their first meeting with Piper and Phoebe and Paige. Piper goes, "And you are?" Paige goes, "Paige. My name is Paige." Phoebe goes, "Another P. Imagine that." It's almost like the writers intended it that way. After the death of her older sister, Prue, Paige was supposed to develop the power to move objects with her mind, but because of her white lighter half, the power she was supposed to have manifested as telekinetic orbing instead, much to the surprise. Due to her white lighter abilities, Paige has more powers than her sisters. However, she has fewer Wiccan powers than her sisters do. Last sister to develop powers on screen, first sister to develop new power in the comics. Tallest of the Charmed Ones is like another daughter to Victor, the father of her 3 older half-sisters. This comes as Paige's adoptive father died when she was a teenager. She never had much to do with her biological one. Eldest nephew Wyatt's godmother. Zodiac sign is Leo. Same. Besides Rose, actresses that auditioned for the role of Paige were Eliza Dushku, Sarah Brown, I don't know, Salil Moonfry, no idea, Susan Ward. We know this name if you're a fan of Buffy and Angel. Charisma Carpenter. Rose McGowan on her character, I don't know why that scrolled up. On her character on Charmed, Paige is very close to my heart. Wanted her to be baby Lucille Ball, always getting in trouble, to be really unique in her person. Rose came into the series only thinking she'd be on Charmed for 1 season and leave sometime in season 5. Well, guess what? The reason for Paige's hair changing color due to a mishap is because Rose was portraying Anne Margaret in a 2005 Elvis Presley biographical miniseries. That's interesting. Rose McGowan, also known as Tatum Riley in the first movie of the Scream trilogy. Paige's counterpart in the reboot series is Kayla Danzo. She's the sister who reforms the Power of 3 after Macy's death. Similar to Paige, Kayla was adopted at infancy, and she has a deep passion for art. Develops into the power of manifestation. Cool. Which is the same effect as thought projection. Unlike Paige, Kayla only became a Charmed One because she was injected with Macy's stem cells during a trial project that cured her of leukemia. Interesting. Very interesting. All 9 times Paige Matthews died, explained. So many times. That's so many. I think I remember this. Death by poisoned apple. Classic fairy tale. Killed by Phoebe. Oops. friendly fire at that point. Paige was always trying to live up to how Prue might have done things had she survived. It was important that she eventually learn the value of her own contribution. Paige's death confirmed the idea that Phoebe could easily commit evil acts. It also demonstrated how much Paige was loved. Defeated by a warlock. Imagine if that's how you went out. Similar to the plot of Doctor Who Season 4, Episode 11, Turn Left, the only way to bring Phoebe and Paige back was by Piper going back in time to stop Phoebe from saving the man in the first place. Well, there you go. Little Doctor Who reference going on. Never a Charmed One. For Charm's 100th episode, Cole prevented Paige from ever meeting her sisters, which resulted in the creation of a dystopian world where Paige was killed by the Source before becoming a Charmed One. Her death was permanent and had lasting consequences for the family and the world. Paige dead, demons took over. Cole trapped Phoebe in the manor. Piper became vengeance obsessed, and thousands of innocents died. Good grief. Her death was undone by restoring the original reality. Most impactful death in the series, barring Prue's at the end of season 3, of course. Sacrificing herself for an innocent. Halliwells were certainly more powerful than the reboot's Charmed Ones. They were becoming arrogant as Piper came blazing in with no long-term consequences for Paige. She actually learned to be more impulsive, making it no surprise that her next death came in the very next episode. Oh my gosh, back to back. Betrayed by Piper. Ooh, that's got a sting. So Piper got her and Phoebe got her. Piper allowed a demon to kill Phoebe and Paige with bolts of electricity, not even seeming to acknowledge that her sisters were dead as she planned her ascension over the forces of evil. Grief. Leo was able to resurrect both of them before their souls could move on. Boy, without Leo, this would be a very interesting second half of this show. So that's why people really didn't like Leo, is that the showrunners kind of leaned on him to kind of like save the day, I guess. Well, it's seeming like, at least. Killed by a genie wish. That's terrible. Leo accidentally healing Piper in his sleep was the only reason their deaths weren't permanent. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm starting to see a pattern here. Starting to see quite a pattern. Every time I see the name Leo, it usually has to do with resurrecting him. Paige and Phoebe were able to stop their enemy as ghosts. Killed by a demon again. Leo here again. Leo and Phoebe were able to barter for Paige's soul and return it to her body. Died in an explosion. That is a crazy explosion. After nearly 2 seasons without dying. Wow. Paige fell alongside Phoebe in season 8. Oh, jeez. Just like nearly every other time Paige died, it was a lesson to the Charmed Ones to avoid the lust for power, control that they occasionally fell prey to. Is Leo going to be mentioned again? Come on. Paige got a happy ending, as did the other Charmed Ones, but it seems only fitting that her future was reliant on learning to use her experiences to guide others. Piper had to use time travel to undo the disastrous battle. Okay. So at least it was Piper that time. 5 reasons why Paige is a superior sister, and 5 why it's Prue. Oh, okay. Well, we're only interested in the 5 why Paige is superior for this edit. Paige, more relatable. Youth and early separation from the Halliwell sisters made her more naive, but her struggles were more relatable than Prue. Prue appeared naturally gifted, powerful leadership qualities, while Paige developed her abilities throughout the series. Youthful naivete set her apart from the eldest sister. Her character was more flawed, but this only gave her a Buffy Summers-like relatability. Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like she was a bit more natural. Teen angsty kind of thing, like trying to find herself, didn't know how she belonged kind of thing, obviously due to her past. Like it just brings a little bit more relatability to quite a bit more people. Paige, another white lighter in the show. Paige's introduction provided a great opportunity for the show to extend its lore. The half-sister was born half-witch, half-white lighter, explored both sides of her heritage, and saved the day several times with her ability to orb. Her DNA allowed the show to separate her similar power set from Prue's. It allowed Leo's character to grow and expand, seeking a life and family with Piper. Paige assisted him with white lighter duties. Paige, she spent her life helping people. One of Paige Matthews' defining characteristics is her compassion. She pursues a career in social services before deciding to dedicate her life to witchcraft. Paige continues to help people as a white lighter under Leo's mentorship. Paige is a caring... You know what's interesting is it seems like Leo was given a foothold because of Paige. Or because of Prue leaving. Prue was also an empathetic character, though she arguably viewed her witch responsibilities as more of a burden. Paige, her relationship with Phoebe. Introduction elevated Phoebe to the status of the middle sister. This allowed the character to explore a new, refreshing dynamic. Phoebe showed a new responsibility as a big sister to Paige, and her relationship was a highlight of the show's later seasons. Both characters helped each other grow as better people and more capable witches. And Paige, the sisters grew stronger, was introduced in season 4 as the youngest sister, hastily pushed Piper and Phoebe into more responsible roles as old siblings. That's definitely shaking it up for sure. Piper and Phoebe grew more confident and assertive while paired with Paige. Well, I mean, they had to, right? They got to take over and try to fill the spot. The trio of Paige, Piper, and Phoebe was magically and emotionally stronger than their previous incarnation with Prue. Piper and Phoebe gained more powers that helped them defeat countless demons. There you go. Rose McGowan shares her biggest regret in her relationship with Shannon Doherty after her death. Rose McGowan, well, that's the unfortunate part. After her death, right? Rose McGowan, who replaced Shannon Doherty on Charmed, reflected on her relationship and how she was pitted against the late actress throughout her career. That's unfortunate. But that is Hollywood, right? It is one big competition. I just recently watched a podcast with Ben Affleck, of all people. And he had mentioned, 30,000 people every year are actors or part of the Screen Actors Guild. 30,000 or 300,000? I can't remember. It was one of those. And, very few, like maybe 3,000 are actually working every year. And even less than that have more than like 2 lines in whatever they're working on. So the numbers are quite large. But the numbers of people that are actually in things and doing things is quite small. So it makes sense that, those are 2 names that certainly they got their roles in life, in their career. But they were pitted against each other pretty much always. They're very similar in some ways of like looking and whatnot, maybe talent-wise. The 50-year-old who took over for Doherty after the actress was ousted from her role in Charmed and her character Prue was killed off, called the White Star the bravest champion I've known. Quote, if I have any regrets, I wish I would have gotten to know her sooner, said McGowan. I don't know how it would have happened, but I wish we could have. Doherty died at the age of 53 after a long-time battle with cancer. McGowan noted that she met the star during the filming of the 97 thriller Nowhere. But once McGowan joined the cast of Charmed as Paige, she said, from then on, we were really pitted against each other in the media. I was just told she was fired and nobody talked to her. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, if you're replacing somebody, the media and tabloids are literally just going to go crazy with that story. Jawbreaker Star said that she frequently received questions from reporters asking if she thought, if she though, obviously E Online is not proofreading, if she thought Doherty hated or was jealous of her. Oh my gosh. Quote, I refused to take the bait. That's excellent. They wanted me to start a war with her, and I was like, absolutely not. I will not start a war with her. And to her credit, she absolutely did not do that either. No, I mean, those are decisions well above your pay grade, your job title. McGowan, who attended MegaCon, those are things, those are, that's always good to remember when you're dealing with customer service, of course, and people that, service staff. They don't make the decisions. They don't make policy. You're getting mad at, maybe some policy or decisions being made on behalf of the policy. The person you're talking to, chances are, is not that person that comes up with that. It makes sense that they would not take the bait and fight and be like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Because neither of them had any input on that decision. McGowan, who attended MegaCon Orlando with Doherty and Holly Marie Combs, was grateful she got to spend more time with Doherty toward the end of her life, noting what a gift to be able to spend the last year and a half with her. Really, really amazing gift. Praising Doherty for starting the podcast toward the end of her life, clear up misconceptions about her, and tell her own story. I actually like that. That is really cool. You get to basically get everything off your chest, say what you need to say, and then go in peace, basically. Extremely hard to get out from the dominant narrative, and I'm so proud that our girl did that. She did that in the end and on her own terms. And in doing so, Doherty was able to help others, McGowan noted. As for the side of the Beverly Hills 90210 star that she knew, McGowan said the biggest misconception about her was that she was hard, but at the same time, it was the truth, but it's not who she natively was. And I would say that was the biggest misconception about me as well. We both just like to laugh, soft underneath it all. Obviously, that's Sarah Michelle Gellar. Quote, how do you possibly find the right words to sum up 30 years of friendship? Buffy Vampire Slayer wrote. Just referring to her as Buffy. Keep reminding myself it only hurts this much because there was so much love. Yes, that is true. And as Billy Bob Thornton said, the pain that you feel when you lose someone you love is deserved. Not for you, but they deserve that pain for how much they're loved, basically. It's a really beautiful way to put that. I had never heard it put like that before. It was very beautiful. I love all the messages about how Shannon Doherty was important to you, so let's honor her. I don't think we have to go through all of these, but we did go through the one that we definitely had to go through. That's cool. I like the fact that they didn't take the bait and, lean in. Nowadays with social media and everybody just trying to get any sort of word in and clout, tension, all that stuff, maybe they would have decided behind closed doors, hey, let's just lean into it and see how much attention we can get. Buzz. But I'm glad they didn't. I am really glad they did not lean into that. Because it's gross. It's gross. We don't need that. We don't need any more of that in society. You want to see that, just hop on X. Oh my gosh. Woo. It is crazy on there. Crazy. The next video is Veronica Mars, Young and Stupid. Well, that's not nice. The quote under the video, oh my gosh, this was posted 9 years ago. The quote under the video says, sometimes people find it very difficult to say no to me. That's a privilege right there. Good for you. The song is Young and Stupid by Headley. Go ahead and jump into this as we move on. See it. This is a kind of a quick video.
Veronica Mars is smarter than me.
Oh, stop it.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Wait a minute. If anything dates this show, it's this guy right here. It's that guy. Oh my gosh. The frosted tips. The necklace that's very visible and like tight around the neck. Good grief. And it's the pre-Bieber haircut. Like surfer dude. Just stereotypical. That's so funny. That is so funny. Oh my gosh.
What you doing?
Annoy, tiny blonde one. Annoy like the wind.
That too. Oh my gosh. Like looking back into my past.
So, gang, are we ready to rock? That's the spirit. Boom goes the dynamite.
You make any friends?
Lord, no.
Enemies?
You're so cute. Listen, I'll get you frisbee. I will.
A pony?
A pony?
That was supporting, not joining. I do not want to be wooed. What is that? A maraschino cherry?
Those are lovely.
Life's a bitch until you die.
Solid.
You got me a bow. A bow? How did you get it? Amuse me, damn it. Amuse me now.
Hardened criminal.
I used to be cool.
When?
Mr. Eccles, I was wondering if I could have a word.
Anthropomorphic. All yours, big guy.
As a rule, I like to start every school day with a hot.
Oh my gosh. I was wondering if I could have a word. Anthropomorphic. All yours, big guy.
hot blonde waiting for me in the parking lot.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
What's up? Say what again? I dare ya. I double dare ya. What?
Ow. Close range paintball.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you're near? Remember this moment. Because you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret that. Toodles. I know. I'm gonna run him over with my karma. That needs work. Because you had a bad day. You're taking one down. You sing a sad. Did you just call me lady? Wow. This is a little embarrassing. Booyah! Banana fana fana. Ta-da! Okay. Am I still speaking English? Sometimes people find it very difficult to say no to me. Can I have your beer? Do you not instinctively fear me? Maybe you should write yourself a note. Right here. My over-the-moon face.
You know what I'm getting right now? Very strong vibes. Anna Kendrick. Pretty much any character she's played kind of reads like Veronica Mars. I think that's a good comparison. Like, obviously, Veronica Mars came first, but I'm getting very strong Anna Kendrick from, like, Pitch Perfect and all that stuff. Like, it seems like every time I see Anna Kendrick, it's very similar to this. like goofy, but smart, sassy, whatever you want to call it, smart aleck, sarcasm, however you want to describe it. But wow. Lovely edit. I enjoyed it tremendously. We go ahead and throw some love on that. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love, and I will throw that in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live. There you go. Go ahead and look up some information on Veronica. We've done a little bit before, so we're not going to touch too much on this original, the first article here on Wikipedia. Teen noir, neo-noir, mystery drama television series created by screenwriter Rob Thomas. No, it's not that Rob Thomas. It's the lead singer of Matchbox 20. The series is set in the fictional town of Neptune, California. Stars Kristen Bell. The series premiered in 2004 during the television network UPN's final 2 years. I loved UPN. I grew up on UPN. Fantastic. What are the shows that it used to have? It became the CW later. Gosh, what were some of these shows? Yeah, it had syndicated series, Star Trek Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Entertainment Tonight, Arsenio Hall Show. Then it had like a bunch of sitcoms. Moesha was great. Watched it quite a few times. Can we just get like a list of the shows? Like what? Obviously Star Trek, yep. The Sentinel. I don't think I ever watched that. Girlfriends was on it. Everybody Hates Chris. Veronica Mars, obviously. Had some movies as well, like a lot of movies. Angel. UPN instituted, this is kind of funny. UPN instituted a policy of not picking up other networks' scraps, which was a strong argument when fans pressured was generated in 2004 for them to pick up Angel, which had been dropped by the WB. Why wouldn't they do that? That had obvious potential. Crazy. So it had a bunch of random other stuff. I can't remember what else was on there. It had a ton, though. Quite a ton of stuff that I grew up watching and loved. And they would have the basketball games, the NBA games for the local team as well. It was just kind of a catch-all, I guess. No real identity, I would say. That's critically acclaimed. First season's run of 22 episodes garnered an average of 2.9 million viewers. The series appeared on several fall television best lists and garnered awards. The show was canceled after its third season. Thomas wrote a feature film script continuing the series. Warner Brothers opted not to fund the project at the time. Launched a Kickstarter to fund the film through Kickstarter, obviously. Attained the $2 million goal in less than 11 hours. What? They accumulated over $5.7 million. Film was released in 2014. 8-episode fourth season was then released on Hulu. That is awesome. Look at that fan involvement. 11 hours. They raised 5.7. Well, 2 million in 11 hours, but then they totally raised 5.7. And they got a fourth season out of it. That's crazy. In 2019, it was announced that there was no plans for Hulu to order a fifth. Clearly not enough, but just enough for the film and maybe another couple episodes. That's pretty good for a show that came out many years before that. Talking 15 years between the 4th season and the 1st. That's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, 2.5 was not huge. That is not a big audience. So it's not surprising they got canceled, especially back then when there was fewer choices. I mean, we still had like cable television and whatnot, but the numbers were still fairly large. People weren't watching YouTube in those numbers. People weren't watching like streaming services, like no Netflix, whatever. Like it was very clear that it probably wasn't going to stay around long, unfortunately. And if it was if it was released on Netflix, they would have canceled it mid-season. I mean, good grief. Not get started on that. But I mean, from what I saw so far, it was a very good show. Like very interesting. Like I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. Obviously, it's a crime drama show, but it's very unique. Probably because it's due to the fact that it's starring a high schooler, but look at that. Dang. 92% from critics, 94% from everybody, and 80% from the audience. That is what you call a good, very good show. Very good. My question is, how did it go the rest of the season? So, first season, this is the first. Oh, no, populate. There we go. Second season, 92, 94. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Season 2 doesn't hold together quite as well as season 1, but this finale still has its brutality, which resonates years later. Wow. What else we got? Where's the other season? Guess we have to go back to go forward. Season 3. Still very high. Still very, very high. Season 4. All those years later. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What the heck happened to the popcorn meter, aka the audience? Critics still loved it. 90%, 88%, that's still high. Audience hated it. We got to read into this. What the heck? Horrible ending. I love the original. Oh, that's right. I think I remember us talking about that on a previous reaction to Veronica Mars edits. The ending was bad. Love the original series. This one as well was okay. Not up to standards, but we had, but still. Major exception was the series finale. Completely destroyed everything that had gone on before. Watch it and ignore the last episode. No happy ending. Bad guys all win. I think the writer was either depressed or fed up with the whole series and decided to make the viewers pay for it. Good grief. That's right. Oh my gosh. I had totally forgotten and now I remember. We talked about that. Oh, geez. Veronica and Logan's story was such a roller coaster from day one, but it kept us coming for more. 4th season goes completely crude with language, which ruined it, and the ending was horrible. Felt like I lasted 2 weeks without watching this series. Oh, man. Yeah, people did not like the ending. Rampant with lazy writing and tokenism of previously established characters. Mildly entertaining if predictable. Oh, God. Unnecessarily brutal ending. Very disappointed. Yeah. Gosh. I forgot it had a terrible ending to the 4th season. Oh, gee. Meanwhile, the critics are like, oh, it's great. It was fantastic. Best part about the new revival of the series, it's largely does away with the nostalgia. Not relying on old teenage beef. Give Belle lots of credit. She's as good with the rapid dialogue and shifting of emotions. Veronica's return is a welcome one. Season 4 is a far cry from the immediacy and charm of Season 1, though there are at least some bright spots. I'm going to guess most of these reviews were based off the first episode of Season 4, and they didn't watch the whole season. Because I'm assuming if they watched the ending, they might have a different opinion. Even a mediocre Veronica Mars episode is better than most TV. Having basically achieved whateverness in record time, I mean, they definitely could have just broken up in a final seeming way. Yeah. That one might have seen the ending. Maybe the best way to satisfy fans is to not try so hard to satisfy them. Yeah, I would assume most of these did not watch the original. TV writer reminisces on the cult classic. Mentioning the name Veronica Mars in any kind of group setting will get you a whole lot of blank stares. I should know. It's happened to me more than once. Released in 2004 alongside cultural phenomenon such as Lost and House MD that ate up the bulk of the general public's attention. Yeah, and American Idol was still big at that point. What else? Smallville was getting big. It was getting launched. Veronica Mars was sidelined for its 4 seasons of runtime. Well, 3 seasons, really. 4th is just kind of out there. 2019, many years later. It left the air without receiving the widespread recognition it deserved. Being relegated to a cult classic status. While the show can be engaged with as a classic drama, at its heart and soul, it was a nitty-gritty teen noir with an overarching murder mystery that jerks the viewer left, right, up, down. R2, R1, L2, R1. Every chance, Veronica Mars toys with your emotions and expectations in the best way possible. The series is centered around titular character Veronica, Kristen Bell, witty, fire-spitting student whose previously charmed life in Neptune takes a turn after the murder of her best friend Lily, Amanda Seyfried. Veronica's father, the county sheriff, mistakenly accuses Lily's billionaire father of the murder, and when his innocence is proven, the sheriff is replaced and disgraced by the community. Highbrow elite crowd, known as 09ers, nicknamed for their fictional zip code that Veronica used to seamlessly fit in with, reject her when she chooses loyalty to her father over them. Good choice. Good choice. Mars families fall from grace, as well as their sudden drop by a few tax brackets, puts them in a unique status within this polarizing society. Veronica uncovers evidence of the man convicted for Louis' murder may be innocent, falls deeper and deeper into a web. Veronica herself is hands down the most compelling part of the show. She's Nancy Drew with a kind of depth that is often not written for female characters. Cynical, pushy, sometimes brash, certainly imperfect, but also empathetic, determined, and generous to a fault. Forsaking her own safety, self-sacrificial manner. Takes the best from the 2000s television and flips tropes on their heads, subverting the viewer's expectations. Ugh, God. Can we get rid of this phrase? Subverting the viewer's expectation. If I hear that one more time. God, I'm so tired of hearing that. Just come up with other ways to describe things. Veronica Mars turns 20. It was written just last year, late last year. Series best characters ranked. Number 25. 25. Starting at 25. Good grief. Okay, let's run through this quickly. Gia Goodman. Kristen Ritter's character joined the ensemble in season 2. Ditzy daughter of influential Neptune businesswoman Woody Goodman. Never developed much. Mostly a introduction. Ultimately killed. Ooh. Celeste Kane, 24. She was the source of the rumor that Veronica and Duncan might be siblings. Parker Lee, 23. Fresh counterpoint to her more sullen, roomy Mac and the cynical Veronica. Oh, gosh. She was horrifically graped in her very first episode. Good grief. Even helped stop Mercer and Mo from doing the same to Veronica. Number 22, Jackie Cook, excuse me. Wait a minute, I recognize her. That's Valkyrie from Thor. Being the daughter of baseball legends certainly has its downsides. Initially, Jackie, she looks exactly the same. Whoa. That is crazy. That's crazy. That was so many years before. Oh my gosh. Caused her and Veronica to butt heads. Once she broke through her tough exterior and learned the truth about her mom and son, we were able to empathize with her. For 21, Madison Sinclair. Oh my gosh. That just screams 09er. Madison Sinclair. Quintessential Neptune 09er. Shallow, rich, and mostly evil. Yep. Could almost tell specifically from the name. Making it tremendously satisfying when Veronica finally decked her at their class reunion. Hey. Gotta give it to her, though. She was good at being bad. Number 20, Duncan Kane. Veronica's first love, had all the markings of a dark and tortured character. Thought his ex-girlfriend was his sister. What? He might have murdered his other sister? And he was prone to blackouts. Good grief. Ugh. Oh, jeez. Hey. He was hiding the ultimate secret from his girlfriend. He knocked up his ex, Meg. Well, that sounds like a great guy. You know, sounds like a catch. Number 19, Kendall Casablancas. Wait a minute. She looks familiar. Is that Charisma? Good God. I can't even say that name. That's funny. Sleeping with Logan, starting a business with Cassidy, making a deal with the imprisoned Aaron Eccles. Kendall embodied the slinky femme fatale. Barb's as pointed as her heels. For 18, Jake Kane. Software billionaire. Softer heart than his wife. Not that it's possible to get more icy than Celeste Kane. And we never saw what became of season 3 cliffhanger, which Veronica came up against Jake's secret society. Ooh. Number 17, Don Lamb. One of the series' most despicable characters. Not only was the incompetent sheriff duped by the Kane family's Abel Kuntz plan, but he proved to be a complete scumbag when Veronica reported her grape to him. Number 16, Nicole Malloy. Nicole's sarcasm and bold personality quickly caught Veronica's attention, and the two forged an almost instant friendship. Number 15, Beaver. Beaver's story was a sad one. Sure, he was responsible for the bus crash and the plane explosion. What? Proved to be Veronica's rapist while trying to off her. Good grief. Okay, so maybe it's a little hard to defend old Cassidy. But having been forced upon by Woody Goodman and emotionally neglected by his dad made us feel for him, even if his past traumas turned him into an absolute horrific monster. Good grief. Number 14, Aaron Eccles. Logan's father was a terrible dad. But boy, did he make for a compelling, complicated villain. None of the show's other baddies ever hit so close to home. Well, there you go. Good performance, I guess. Number 13, Piz. Piz or Logan? That was the question facing viewers when Veronica met Piz at Hearst College in season 3. Piz was a good guy who offered our lead a temporary reprieve from the surging storm that followed in Logan's wake. Found up finishing last, I guess. Number 12, Vinny Van Lowe. Seedy, immoral private investigator. Was always a thorn in the Mars sides. Thanks to Ken Marino's effortless charm. Ken Marino's a great actor. Usually left smirking whenever he raised the Mars hackles. For 11, Meg Manning. Veronica's sole 09er friend proved that not all popular kids were out to destroy the tiny PI. In fact, Meg was so genuinely nice and sweet, and yet not dull. In season 1, that even Veronica couldn't deny her a chance at love when Duncan was revealed to be Meg's secret admirer. Oh, gosh. Unfortunately, Duncan later got back with Veronica while Meg was in a coma, secretly pregnant with Duncan's child. Good grief. Till she tragically died. Ooh. Yeah, she did get done dirty. That's crazy. Number 10, Louis Kane. Let's be honest, Louis was frequently a selfish troublemaker. He was definitely not a good friend. Cheating on Logan with his dad. Ooh. 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 Good grief. Toying with Weevil's feelings. Force of energy to be reckoned with. Oh, gosh. Even if you didn't like her, you couldn't deny her. Number 9, Cliff. Driest of humor. Neptune public defender, served as both a professional ally and family friend of Keith and Veronica. Number 8, Richard is what we'll say. Bully frat dude, comedic relief. I would also probably add like surfer bro appeal. Number 7, Leo. He looks familiar. New guy, anyone? Or a new girl? Excuse me. Charming mumble and playful personality. Number 6, Mac. The cue to Veronica's bond. Mac was not only a resourceful friend, but also a loyal one. Later emotionally traumatized by Beaver. Just like her friend, Mac came out of the experience stronger while never losing sense of herself. Number 5, Wallace. No one more loyal than Wallace and the friendship he and Veronica sparked at the high school. One of TV's favorite pairings. Deserves all the snickerdoodles. Basically a ride or die. For 4, Weevil. Bike gang leader, complicated moral compass. One of the show's most layered and complex characters. Push and pull of seemingly conflicting traits make it impossible for Weevil to put Weevil into a neat bad guy box, making him endlessly fascinating. Number 3, Logan. Veronica's boyfriend turned husband. Biggest growth arc on the series. Volatile teen boy whom Veronica labeled an obligatory psychotic jerk, I guess we'll say. Matured into a responsible member of the Navy. 20 more developments that could definitely be filed away under the definition of, quote, a bad boyfriend. Haven't been physically abused, I guess, by his, I couldn't come up with another word, by his father and abandoned by his mother after she offed herself. Logan had plenty of reasons to continue to spiral, and he did so for a while, but he eventually sought professional help, becoming a man. Number 2, Veronica. Dang, imagine getting number 2 in your own show. That's literally named after you. Not only does Veronica fight injustice, but her strong conviction and morals urge her to do what's right. She gets knocked down often, never wallows or looks for pity, gets back up. Number 1, her father, Keith. This is a ranking of the best TV dads of all time. Keith might dominate the list too. The hero is the one that stays, Veronica once told him, but we like to think that the hero is the one who will literally walk through fire to save your hide. Keith supported Veronica through bad boyfriends, being forced upon in an intimate way. It's a lot of words to say that. In a stint of questionable paternity, which was alternately heartwarming and heartbreaking, while being pure, quote, hashtag dad goals. Keith's love for his daughter, that gave it its heart. That's great. Okay, I understand that now. I was like, how does Veronica not get number 1? Like, how does that make sense? But now I get it. That's something I did note when I was reacting to the first couple episodes. The father is definitely an interesting character. And obviously has been through a lot and could just wallow in self-pity and kind of like self-destruct. So it's kind of interesting that, honestly, I think Veronica had a lot to do with, I'm assuming Veronica had a lot to do with him not wallowing in self-pity and becoming super self-destructive. Yeah. Excellent edit. Loved it. Veronica Mars is such a compelling show. Just from reading some of those, oh my gosh. Some of those characters get absolutely left out to dry and just the worst things happen to them. But kind of makes sense, right? It's a murder mystery at the core, and everything else is just kind of the most wild storylines you can think of. So it does make sense. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. It is Charmed Edits compilation. So we're going back to Charmed. Hashtag Charmed. Came out 6 years ago. No idea as to the music, but we will find out. Yeah. Looks good. Let's play it.
You know, this will always be my home. That will never change.
I should probably, if we're going to have edits like that, I should probably reduce the size. We can actually see it. Read it. There we go.
You know, this will always be my home. That will never change. This is family. Can you hear me screaming, please don't leave me? Hold on, I still want you.
Do you
Come back, I still need you. So please don't go.
There's a lot of deaths between the main characters in this show. That's something that not a lot of shows can say, that they've killed their main characters quite often. You never know. It could be any episode. Doesn't even have to be a season finale. All right, that counts as a thirst trap.
I don't know how to sleep.
Don't.
Not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops.
Gosh, showrunners did her so dirty, it's crazy. Truly.
just feels like an invitation for more pain.
I'm her sister.
Technically true. Technically true, but it invites everything, every emotion, not just pain.
I'm so sorry, Paige. And let's go home. My name's Paige. It's nice to meet you. Huh? Ready, sis?
So happy to be home.
They really nailed the Paige casting. Like, it might have been rough for people at first, but it feels like they initially got it right. But of course, it's always going to be quite controversial, I guess. Trying to replace somebody.
Smile. Well, somebody had to cry at my funeral, didn't they? Smile. Well, somebody had to cry at my funeral, didn't they?
The oldest sister, always supposed to be able to figure things out.
Then choose me now. I love you.
You know what's interesting about this show is that great song. You know what's interesting about this show is the fact that because the main characters are killed so often, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, are they going to be brought back? Probably. Could they also not be brought back? Because we literally saw Prue be actually killed off season 3. So after that point, you got to be just like, I don't know what's happening. Like, usually after, they bring them back a couple times, you're like, oh, that's just a thing that they do, and then back, of course. But with every single one, you're like, is this the time? Are they leaving the show? Like, what's happening? Oh my gosh.
We lost our sister.
So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older.
I think this was a good idea.
I like the fact that this is sisters going through this. I think it's fascinating. I think it is absolutely fascinating. Kind of brings a different dynamic to it. Like, there's more, I don't know, seriousness to them having issues that you just don't get with a friend group. Certainly friends can be very close, obviously. There are such things as found family, but something about them actually being sisters makes this like so much more, I don't know how to describe it. I guess impactful, maybe? Impactful, more, oh gosh, more relatable, I guess, because I had siblings as well. Like, I don't know. It just kind of makes it more sweet, I guess is a way to put it. Having trouble describing that.
And this is family.
Like, it's a little different to go through something as a family than it is as friends. Regardless of how close those friends are, there's just a difference to it. You know what's interesting is that other video is just starting immediately. What's interesting is the fact that this edit came out the year that they did the no, it didn't. Okay. This was so many years after the show. But that tells you just how important this show was to a lot of people. A lot of people. I knew people that watched this show religiously, just absolutely adored it, loved it, still talk about it. Like, this show really made its mark in pop culture for sure. And of course, I'm sure I would have loved, even though I didn't watch the show, I would have loved to have been part of those conversations about Prue and Paige and whatnot. Like, that storyline would have just been so wild to be a part of. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. We'll go throw it some love like I just did. Also, I'll be throwing it in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live. There it is. Excellent. Excellent edit. Go ahead and bring up some information. More information on Charmed. Kind of looking at this. This is interesting. So the first season, critics didn't really like it at all. I mean, 60% is not bad by any means. Not rotten, based on Rotten Tomatoes. But it's also not high. So there was some back and forth there. Go ahead and see if we can find out more of this. So the top critics, or no, all critics. Oh my gosh. So the top critics put it at 70. That's not bad. Not a lot of reviews. Then all critics goes to 15, and it's a little bit more, almost 50-50. The audience freaking loved it. Not surprising. This is the first season, by the way. See if we can find out why people said that. This one from LA Weekly says there is perhaps too much in the cauldron for the series to cast an effective spell. Basically meaning, I'm assuming, too much involved. Too many side characters, plots, side stories, or whatever. That's what I'm assuming. Weird. This is not the charmed sisters we grew up with, but in a way I'm grateful. What? How's that from season 1? What are you talking about? Is this about the reboot? Why is that in here? Maybe if I'd never seen The Witches of Eastwick, my reaction to Charmed would have been somewhat different. Charmed travels nowhere. Seems to want to be a dark, dramatic version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch Grows Up, or Bewitched the Single Years. Unfortunately, it just manages to make witchcraft look bland. Charmed is Charlie's Angels with a Ouija board. But while it doesn't work for me, I'll bet many of the WB's teen viewers who have just finished watching Dawson's Creek are going to love it. Yeah, Dawson's Creek was good. It was not bad. I didn't watch it a lot, but I caught a few episodes every now and then. I guess they're just saying it's, this is more of a teenage thing and got that kind of vibe to it. I don't think that's a bad vibe. I mean, it was marketed, I would think, towards teenagers and that kind of, pocket of audience. Nothing I love more than a young feminist. I mean this sincerely. They're so passionate, so newly stung by injustice. Charmed is pretty bland tasting brew. And I love how you have these next to each other. Charmed is most captivating at its simplest. You ever feel like crawling into a bright, colorful world in which demons lose, good wins, and there's still time to make it a trendy club for a live performance of a hot new band at the end of the episode? Hollowells are waiting. Hey, that sounds pretty good to me. Charmed is almost quaint, with Doherty acquitting herself well, and the production playing with an engaging spark. I think these are a bunch of older folks, not what this show was marketed to be as. Watching. Like, you got older people watching this and reviewing it. Meanwhile, it's made for like teenagers to enjoy. Because look at the popcorn rating. Look at that. 93. Cool series. Fell in love with this masterpiece. First season of Charm. It's great. I love it. It's a great fantasy franchise. One of my favorites. Iconic. Feel-good show. First ever witch show I watched. One of my favorites to the day. Little quirky, but it's my youth. Obsessed with it. The new Charmed was so bad that I started to see the old one. Started to watch it, and it's so much better than the new one. Great TV show, still fresh. Love watching this growing up. Favorite show of all time. Yeah, these are the people. These are the people that this show was meant for. So the critics kind of showing their hand, if you will. Go ahead and that's season 1. Season 2, what do we think? Will it load? Actually, I'm interested in season 4. Come on now, load. Tomatoes is not performing well. No. Oh my gosh. There we go. Season 4. 91% still. Wow. I love Paige so much. Cool season to enjoy. Season 3, one of the best seasons. It introduced Rose McGowan as Paige. Used to be so obsessed with this show. Phoebe and Cole broke my heart. Wish they could do a reboot with the original cast and not the garbage that they just released. Well, you know. Here we go. Paige represented an easy fix to the show's Prue problem. The writers make her introduction complicated in a way that acknowledges the tricky emotions of the situation. Yeah. It's hard, like, to replace somebody, especially one of the main characters of the show. Like the oldest, too. The oldest sister, which has some importance to it. The leader, if you will. That's like going to be trouble. Going to be hard regardless. Trying to introduce a new character, have the fans accept them, all that stuff. A review of a timeless show started in, oh my gosh, began in 1998. There are a lot of you watching that were not born in 1998. That to me, wild. If someone asks, what's your favorite? It can be a struggle to think of answers. I can list 5 series that are without a doubt my top 5 programs, and one of them is Charmed. It aired until I keep saying 20, like it's 2020. No, 2006. There was an unaired pilot, but the official program consisted of 8 seasons, 178 episodes. Drama, mystery, and fantasy. 3 sisters discover that they are descendants of a line of good female witches and are destined to fight against the forces of evil using their combined power of witchcraft known as the Power of 3. While that is correct, for me and many others, Charms is so much more. Script writing and on-screen execution of the show are some of the reasons why it will always be a favorite TV show. I wasn't alive when Charmed was first broadcast on TV, but my mom was a huge fan of the show. When I was old enough and an appropriate age to watch the program, I became hooked, as did my sister. That is awesome. That's how you know you have good product right there. If people not even born for the original airing love it, that is huge. Because so often things get made and then they're reviewed at a later date and we just go, ooh, that wasn't that good. So it's nice to see that something a mom loved, the daughter loved as well. That's so cool. TV series Charmed is a mix of genres, storyline, and plot, whilst each episode of Charmed tends to focus on a central demon or warlock. Narrative threads that continue across multiple episodes. For example, in the opening season, animosity between Prue, the oldest, and Phoebe, the youngest, is present in more than one episode. Just like the romantic relationships each of the sisters goes on to have. I like that. I don't like neatly wrapped up shows. Although it's handy when you're just jumping in real quick and you don't have a lot of time. You can just watch an episode and be like, oh, I know everything that happened. I do enjoy that, and that's very much like Law and Order shows. But there's something to be said about the sitcom or the show that has its own narrative, in each episode, but also a big through line throughout the season. Enjoy that. I love that. And it makes you want to watch every episode. A lot of TV shows have multiple episodes that blur into one. Grey's Anatomy, another favorite of mine, speaking of. Doesn't have that many memorable episodes unless it's a major event for the protagonist, such as a certain plane crash, but Charmed does. Since Shannon Doherty's passing, I've started to rewatch Charmed, and I was saying to my mom and sister how easy it was for me to remember specifics about each episode. I know what villains are what their plan is, and how it turns out. I can call out particular episodes or be shown a photo from them and know what happens in it. I don't have that with many other TV shows, and that, to me, just shows how memorable Charmed is. Even the demons have their own storylines. Yes, there are probably hundreds and thousands of them, but to someone who has watched Charmed before and loves the show, the names Zanku and Barbas, the Source, Balthazar, and even the Dream Sorcerer would all be familiar. Having plots for each episode that are easy to remember and recall increases the rewatchability of the show. Makes Charmed a comfort program because it's easy to identify what episodes are sad, happy, comedic, scary, etc. That's interesting. Depending on the season, you'll get a different atmosphere and tone. First 3 seasons with Prue are darker than those with Paige. Clear that there is a difference as seasons 1, 2, and 3 focus on Wiccan practices, whereas the later seasons involve the next generation of Hallowells and things like magic school. There's the characters. Demon and Warlocks are all very memorable in their own way. Central characters are obviously still the sisters. Makes sense, right? It wouldn't be Charmed without the Charmed ones. Big fan of all 8 seasons. I might like some more than others. That's not surprising. Even shows we love seasons or hate seasons more than the others. Obviously, if I say Game of Thrones, what season do most people hate? You probably answered back, season 8. Prue is the eldest Hollowell sister, and she's probably the most serious at first. She's a workaholic, likes to have a plan, and grew up too fast after their mom died. Piper's the middle child in the first 3 seasons. Thinks with her heart, always caring and looking after others. Phoebe is the original younger sister, chaotic, loyal, fierce. I like how they gave them all different, so somebody's got to be relatable to you. One of the sisters. Paige, the newcomer, doesn't really know. Initially, I wasn't a fan of the character much because I loved Prue. Okay, that's fair. But over time, she wore me down. Each sister is different, has different strengths and weaknesses, just like actual siblings. I don't think it would be the same without those 4 actresses playing those specific characters, and that's why I love Charmed. You know, I always think the same thing. Like, you know, imagine if somebody else played, I don't know, Indiana Jones or something, or the somebody else played John Wick instead of Keanu Reeves. Would it have been the same? What if it was Jason Statham or I don't know, somebody else? Would it have had the same impact if it wasn't Keanu Reeves? Probably not. I would say probably not. But then again, if we saw somebody else as that character, would we still think the same? Or would we just think, yeah, that person was born to play that character? You know what I mean? Like it's tough. It's tough. Is it that they got the casting just right with that specific person? Or is it because we only saw that person play that character? I don't know. That is a question I've pondered so many times, and I still don't know the answer to it. So if you know, let me know down below in the comments. But it's a tough one. It is a legit tough one. If you're a fellow fan of Charmed like me, let me know what your favorite thing about it is. If not, maybe I've helped inspire you to watch it. Well, there you go. 20 wild details behind the making of Charmed. Sure there is. 20. It incorporated real elements of Wicca. Although Wicca is legalized religion in the US, it's rare to see its beliefs, customs, and practices represented in popular entertainment. According to Investigating Charmed, however, the series sought to rectify this. Whether or not it was successful in accurately portraying it depends on who you ask. However, the decision to include demons and angels infused the show with Christian beliefs as well. Of course, the Christian elements were an economic necessity for the story, but Wicca provided the basis for the sisters' beliefs. Few shows have paid that much attention to religion since then. The Book of Shadows was hand-drawn. Wow. Remember the Book of the Power of Three? It was pivotal in their fight against evil. Turns out, behind the scenes, the book was no ordinary TV show prop. It was revealed that in an effort to make the book seem like the real deal, 3 different artists were commissioned to draw and paint it by hand. Furthermore, Alyssa Milano was so impressed by the designs that she reportedly commissioned one of the artists to paint murals in her home. Wow. Showrunner Brad Kern isn't letting the magical tomb out of his sight. That's funny. Number 18, the final seasons were hampered by budget cuts. That's too bad. Even the most popular shows experience financial burdens. Well, yeah, I mean, salaries increase throughout the seasons, right? They start out as either no-name actors or barely there actors, and by the end, people love them if the show's big, and they're getting like $1 million per episode, $2 million per episode. All of a sudden, your budget is like, meow. Not to mention all the money spent on special effects and props. Storytelling became more ambitious. Yeah. These cuts meant the series stalwarts were let go or weren't given as much screen time. As a result, Dorian Gregory, the actor who played Inspector Daryl Morris, was written out of the final season. In addition to Gregory being let go, Brian Krause, who played Leo, was written out of several episodes. That's not surprising. That happens with every show. Story continued. I think the one that I remember the most in terms of people like earning money and it like being a ton of money was Seinfeld. I think everybody was earning over $1 million per episode. Story continued after the final episode, currently in a comic book. For reboots and revivals, some shows with strong fan bases continued in comic book. Charmed was no different. Between 2010 and 2016, continued on the page. Fortunately, the series was met with a mixed response, many of who complained about the story and appearance of the characters. That or criticism wasn't Zenescope's fault. However, Shannon Doherty didn't give them permission to use her likeness, as there was no money involved. Well, there you go. What the heck? Not going to pay them for their likeness? Good grief. Of course they're going to say no. Other cast members were cool with their image being depicted. That's cool. But they didn't seem to be too enamored with the content. Yeah. I don't blame Shannon for saying no. Absolutely not. If you're going to use my likeness, I need some money. I totally get that. But I also will say that's pretty cool that the others were just like, yeah, sure. I would be more inclined to say yeah, sure if it was just fan made. You know what I mean? And not a company. Because it's a company, I'm like, no, you better pay up. But if it was just like fan made comics, I would have no problem. Holly Marie Combs is the only one who was in every episode, who played Piper. Only star to appear in every single episode of the series. She just beat out Alyssa Milano by one episode. Stars felt mistreated by the network. Despite their legacies, thanks to the show, not everyone involved in Charm's creation have fond memories of the experience. Rose McGowan's autobiography, Brave, she described her time working on the series as soul-crushing. Reviews were echoed by her co-stars as well. In an interview, Combs revealed that the WB never treated us well. We didn't expect a lot of farewell wishes and flowers or cards. In the EW interview, Combs also voiced her frustration with how the show was promoted. When the press mentions the WB, they mention Buffy, Felicity, and Gilmore Girls. And yet one show that has been on longer than all of them is never mentioned. Okay. Number one, you're not beating out Buffy. Just not. Buffy was huge. Felicity, yeah. Gilmore Girls, gosh, that was huge too. I guess they could have just included them. Maybe they were just trying to think of like, all right, Charmed has an established audience and they're going to watch it no matter what. So let's push these other shows that might need to grow, or maybe they're increasing audience. I have no idea. Obviously, I'm not a network executive. But I'm assuming that's what it was, maybe. Or they just really didn't like the people that were working on Charmed. I have no idea. There might have been some internal politics there as well. Maybe it was, yeah. I'm starting to think it might have been Prue's stuff. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they just felt they needed to push this other stuff. Rose McGowan wasn't the first choice to play Paige, really. Who was it? Jennifer Love Hewitt. Tiffany Thiessen were reportedly at the top of the wish list. I could see Jennifer Love Hewitt, for sure. For sure. Big name. However, according to Brad Kern, McGowan was the only person who auditioned. Really? Everybody else turned it down? What was Jennifer Love Hewitt doing at this point? Rose McGowan was the only person we saw for Paige. We didn't audition anyone else. So I'm assuming they turned it down. If they were at the top of the wish list, oh, maybe the network didn't want to pay them. That might have been the case. As for the aforementioned names, Kern revealed that they were considered, but they had major star power. Yeah, probably cost too much. We were replacing Shannon Doherty, who was a star, and there was some talk about how well the show would do without her. There was resistance from some quote-unquote stars to take that risk. Oh. Gotcha. Maybe they didn't want to take the risk of being hated and that, like, ruining their career. Got it. Craft connection. Charmed isn't the first thing that springs to mind when you think about pop culture witches in the 90s. The Craft is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Most viewers remember the cover of the Smiths' hit as the theme song to Charmed, but it was originally recorded by the band specifically for The Craft. Interesting. Shannon Doherty had a dramatic history with the show's producer. That's putting it lightly. She does have a history of reportedly being difficult to work with. Well, didn't that get disproven a little bit? It was announced that Doherty was picked as one of the leads of Charmed. Some TV fans were undoubtedly surprised given her controversial history with the show's producer, Aaron Spelling. Prior to Charmed, they worked together on Beverly Hills 90210, a show for which Doherty was written off, reportedly due to her on-set conflicts, cast and crew members, seemingly no ill will given the Charmed gig. Spelling was very supportive of her decision to cast Doherty as the eldest Hallowell sister. Why Prue disappeared from the photo. Prue's passing was heartbreaking for fans, but losing one of their favorite characters wasn't the only reason they were upset. See, Prue vanished from the iconic photo of the sisters, but there's a very valid reason. Fern said, I tried like crazy to get her in flashbacks and to have photographs of her on the walls. But what I was told, and I've subsequently been told that this is not the case by the studio, that we would have to pay her per episode fee, which we couldn't afford. We were even just going to use a photo of her. What? Seriously? Per episode feed for a photo? You don't even have to be there? That's wild. I was told and subsequently been told that this is not the case. Something was going on there. Big time. Phoebe was played by another actress in the pilot. Really? Hard to imagine Charmed without Alyssa Milano. Actress Lori Rahm. I have no idea who that is. Combs made $60,000 per episode. Doherty left the show. The future of her co-stars is up in the air. Ultimately, Combs did stay on after renegotiating her contract. Yep. Yep, her contract to earn a reported $60,000 per episode. Now, in today's money, that's probably like 150 with inflation. I don't know. Probably, yeah, somewhere around there. She also became a series producer in season 5, but wasn't shy about discussing how poorly she felt Doherty's departure was handled. Star Wars influence. Balthazar was the demonic persona of Cole Turner, half demon who fell in love with Phoebe and wanted to eliminate her sisters. Looks like Darth Maul, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely looks like Darth Maul. Piper's pregnancy was real. Season 5 made for an interesting storyline. Wasn't the plan going in, only written in because Combs was carrying a child. Why Billy joined the show. Season 8 saw former 8 Simple Rules star. That was a great show, by the way. 8 Simple Rules was so funny. Unfortunately, John Ritter died of a brain aneurysm during the show. Joined the show as Billy Jenkins, a witch who was at odds with the sisters before becoming a regular ally. Character was created to lighten the load, screen time wise, of Alyssa, Holly, and Rose. We needed to give someone else some of the work. Our stars were dog tired after 7 years. I mean, that kind of makes sense. McGowan isn't a fan of a certain co-star. She implied that she wasn't on the best of terms with her co-stars. In one passage, she wrote, I opted out of infighting. I refused to play games that were beneath me, but it didn't stop the constant watching of our set. I cannot tell you how many times I was asked if we, the Charmed ones, hung out after work. The answer was no. Earlier this year, McGowan slammed Alyssa Milano over her involvement in the #MeToo movement. In an interview with ABC Nightline, she said, I don't like her because I think she's a lie. Whoa. 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 Original stars have issues with the reboot. I'm not surprised. Reboots always split those with a strong affinity for the original. When it comes to the Charmed reboot, the stars of the past aren't the biggest fans. Holmes, in particular, has been vocal over disapproval. Lengthy Twitter rant, now X. He hit out at the reboot's perceived ageism. Let me say first that I appreciate the jobs and opportunities the reboot has created, I will never understand what is fierce, funny, or feminist in creating a show that basically says the original actresses are too old to do a job they did 12 years ago. That is a fair point. I guess they were trying to engage the younger audience. Holmes also took umbrage with the suggestion that the new show would be more feminist, if the original was not. Yeah. Well, we know my feelings about reboots. If you've seen more than one episode here. Lack of female directors. Despite the show's female-centric appeal, behind the scenes, it was a boys' club. McGowan claims that she was only ever directed by one woman. Cole was only supposed to appear in 7 episodes. AKA, I will never see this man and not think of Nip Tuck. Ever. Ever. That show is like ingrained into my brain. One of the challenges on the show was finding strong male characters that did not disempower our stars. When you're doing a show that focuses on female empowerment, the tendency is get emasculated male characters, which is not good either. Julian was exactly what we were looking for. It was supposed to be only a 7-episode arc, but the arc turned into a 2-year gig because he was fantastic. Doherty and Milano didn't get along. Characters might have been close, but the bond between them wasn't shared off the screen. Holly and Shannon were best friends for like 10 years before the show started, so it was very much sort of like high school. I would hope that in our 30s, it wouldn't feel like that anymore. These days, however, they're good friends. After Doherty, good grief, was diagnosed with cancer, the pair reached out to each other and made amends. It's unfortunate, like I said, it's unfortunate that such tragic moments in life are the kickstarters for change. But something good came from it, I guess. You know, they got reconnected, probably made amends, all that stuff. That's lovely. That is lovely. But yeah, it's unfortunate that that is necessary. Charmed facts, only huge fans will know about the show. Featured some popular acts. Yeah. Magic School is actually a floating estate. Series featured a lot of now famous guest stars. Amy Adams, Peggy Murphy, Cho. Womanizing plastic surgeon Christian Troy in Nip Tuck. Gosh. Dean Norris of Breaking Bad. Annie Wershing of Vampire Diaries. Rainn Wilson, a.k.a. Zachary Quinto from Star Trek. Misha Collins, Supernatural. Awesome. Artists hid their faces in the Book of Shadows. Really? Story continues in novels and comic books. I mean, we just read that. Mixed reviews on it. Piper is her own great-grandmother. That's mild. Chemistry between Phoebe and Cole was real. I've definitely reacted to a video, an edit of Phoebe and Cole. That was quite lovely. Leo was frozen due to budget cuts. Yep. Yep. Unfortunately, the budget's so big, and you know, after a couple seasons, they renegotiate their salaries, and all of a sudden, you're scrambling to come up with money. Alyssa Milano wasn't the first Phoebe. Some big names were floated for Paige. Obviously, we just read that. Jennifer Love Hewitt would have been fine. Ball of Tape became the unofficial show mascot. Okay. Oh, it was used for blocking out logos because of trademarks. Oh my gosh. 8-ball. That's funny. Charmed Ones literally closed the door on every season. Fans of Psych, it's the pineapple hidden somewhere in every episode. For the Supernatural fandom, the way that Sam and Dean always use the names of musicians as their aliases. Viewers who stuck around long enough to finish a few seasons of Charmed will start to see a pattern at the end of every season, with one notable exception. Every season ends with one of them using magic to close the door. Fantastic. That's it. I always love these little known tidbits because it's always, stuff you've either never heard of because you just didn't read into it, or it's just stuff that's released later on by like showrunners and whatnot. All right. Go ahead and move on to the last video of the day and the week. Kick off this weekend. Hope it's a good one. Go ahead and load School Spirits TikTok edits because this show is incredible. I think I have it positioned for TikToks. Go ahead and get us started.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Milo Manheim, I play Wally Clark.
My name is Sarah, and I play Rhonda.
My name is Nick, and I play Charlie.
And I'm going to reposition this. My name is Todd, and I'm repositioned. Don't want to cut out anything. There we go.
Charlie.
I'm Peyton List, and I play Maddie Mears.
Hi, Maddie.
My name's Christian Flores, and I play Simon Elroy.
Hi, my name is Rainbow Adele, and I play Clancy.
My name's Kiara. I play Nicole on School Spirits.
I'm Spencer McPherson. I play Xavier Baxter in School Spirits.
Killers. Dang, the editing on that one was incredible.
Who's most likely to laugh during a serious scene?
Nick or Sarah Yarkin?
Rainbow, who's most likely to laugh during a serious scene?
Nick.
Spencer, who's most likely to laugh during a serious scene? Who's most likely to laugh during a serious scene?
Sarah or Nick?
Oh.
Me or Nick, or me and Nick together.
The self-reflection there.
What do you mean?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this might sound
Just
crazy,
immediately started laughing.
but I read that ghosts hate salt, right? So maybe we can pour salt on Janet and trap her.
If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call?
Can someone pass the salt?
If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call?
Everyone knows ghosts have a sodium allergy.
So sorry. She's right, man. You gotta blink now and then.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Just staring at her, putting salt on her plate. Try to get a few sprinkles towards her. See if she, dodges it. Get it hot like Papa John. Hot take, I do not like Papa John's pizza. Like, even a little. Maybe it's just my Papa John's that's closest to me, but oh my God, it's terrible. They literally gave me a pizza with, like, you know how it gets those like little domes all over it? Like the entire left side was a dome. I was like, come on now. How do you box that up and say, yeah, this will be good?
It's just a party to go to. It's not like it's a date.
Why can't it be?
Trying to guess the setting of this. Is it the 90s, or are people just dressing
I'm gonna find more shit for us
like
to
the
break.
90s?
Best field day ever.
What's your problem?
He always leaves me with the worst one.
Guys, the subject is Nirvana.
No, the
I'm
subject
getting
is
strong
entitlement.
Oh, okay.
Breakfast
I'm
Club
entitled
vibes.
because I like anything filled with jelly.
This a blueberry or a raisin?
You know you
The
can't go
jock,
twice,
the
right?
nerd,
Too
the
soon.
art girl.
Oh my world.
Wake up, Cherry Pop. This is where these sad sacks let their guards down, and we figure out who's boning who. There's no way these aren't plugs. His forehead was 3 inches higher last year.
You measured his forehead?
I followed him to the lavatory. I've measured more than that.
Don't you know it? The one day I forget my EpiPen is the one day they cook the French fries with peanut oil.
That I was haunted by all the jokes they made once I was gone.
What do you mean?
I was a gay kid in the 90s who died because he was allergic to nuts.
The Natural.
Way too much baseball.
Rad Racing.
Is that the one where they do the BMX bike ballet at the school dance?
Yes, it is, and it's freaking amazing.
No, it's absolutely not, though. Sorry.
Oh, Maddie, I mean, does that mean, like, you could go back to your life?
I don't know.
Just say it one time, Maddie. I want you to stay. I really wish you would stay.
You know she's doing this for you, right?
What?
She's considering being here for eternity because of you. You really okay with that?
To only grab his journal when leaving to follow us.
I didn't know that we weren't going to be able to get back in. And for the record, I also grabbed this creepy little leather bag. So you're welcome for making sure that we had something and not nothing.
It's okay, it's keys.
No, it says. Oh, no, it does say keys. Okay.
What the fuck? You speak English?
He's a liar and he's a spy from Virginia. You sit there all dazed and confused, spouting wisdom like Yoda. Well, guess what? You're no more involved than the rest of us you are.
Hey, Wanda, I'm angry too, but we don't have to go to war with the tampon. If you saw her face, you wouldn't have to deal with it for the rest of our lives.
Oh, ouch.
Sorry, do you want me to leave the room?
Use Janet.
Why are you nodding? You had a concussion, dude, not a lobotomy.
Oh. You are invading my space, Blue Eyes.
He's looking right at here. Look, I need eyes up here. Eyes up here. He can't hear me. Okay, can we find a bazooka?
Wally, I would like to keep this non-violent. It is still my body.
That's a good point.
That was a bad idea.
This is my song.
Cue the 80s. Squidward dancing. Song reminds me of Grand Theft Auto My Vice City. The soundtrack of that game, I don't know how much money they spent to get all those 80s songs, but it's by far the best collection of 80s songs I think I've ever heard. And when they remastered it, they didn't get any of those songs again. Probably because it cost too much money. They had 2 Michael Jackson songs in there. That game was elite. I drove around so many times in that game just listening to the music. Oh my gosh. He's having convulsions. No, he's doing the worm.
That's a balls.
I'm sitting there. Do you want to leave to see 10th grade? I'm not playing with you, douchebag. Move.
You were supposed to take care of her. You were supposed to look after her.
My pain is not for sale.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
You're the one who's trouble.
Pick you up at 7 tomorrow.
You don't want me to drive?
I want to drive.
You do? Why?
My car has a bigger backseat than yours.
Well, dang.
Claire, I think the one window's probably enough. So you got like a thing for strong women, right? That's your type? Yeah, I guess so.
Wishing I was someone else, feeling sorry for myself when I remembered someone's kid is dead. Jesus Christ, I'm so blue all the time, and that's just how I feel. Always have, and I always will. I always have and always will.
Oh, come on.
Trust me, it's kind of hard to trust someone who got stage fright in front of a pot of hydrangea, Savior.
I don't like that defeatist attitude.
Well, save the seat, man. You got the Savior.
Why would I laugh at you?
I don't know. I mean, with all of this, I'm sure you're dying to get back to your dumb friends.
I'm with my dumb friends now.
I see a song of past romance. I see the sacrifice of man. I see portrayals of betrayal and a
That sounds so familiar.
I see you on the brink of death. I see you
Wait a minute.
final breath. I see a man who gets to make it all alive.
Oh, I know what that's from. What is it called? Oh gosh. I think Luke, I think you introduced me to that. It was from this one-man musical, wasn't it? Through YouTube? Pretty sure.
You know that for sure.
Yes. Yeah, he wouldn't stop
Oh
whistling.
dang, we just had thunder.
What? It's a long song.
Hopefully it doesn't get too bad. If stream gets cut off, you know why. We lost power or something. Knock on wood.
Maybe I would be okay if I let this go.
I mean, does that mean like you could go back to your life?
I don't know.
Maybe I will.
Well, would you?
Let this go.
Betty!
feel like I've ever been able to talk to someone like I can talk to you. I want you to stay. I really wish you would stay. I wish you would be stuck with me here forever. But you deserve to live.
What's that about?
Is there a problem?
He always leaves me with the worst one.
What do you mean? It's lemon glazed.
Nobody wants a lemon donut.
Guys, the subject is Nirvana.
No, the subject is entitlement.
Oh, okay, I'm entitled because I like anything filled with jelly. Yeah, that makes
You
sense.
take the last jelly, I will rip off your arm and beat you with the wet end.
Rhonda, I'm the one that boosted these from the faculty lounge in the first place. You
Guys, who's up for another field day?
Yes, hell yes. Yes, yes, field day, let's go.
Please kill me.
I love you, Mr. M.
I'm exactly the opposite. I'm usually the one that takes like the worst one and gives the better one away. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not very picky.
Did he just... She just...
Yeah, it did.
How are you not pissed right now?
I am pissed, Rhonda. I'm trying to make sense of this all. This is very new to me. I don't know how
Try
I'm
not
feeling.
to lose it in front of your crowd.
Okay, you don't have to be mad at me, Rhonda. I didn't do anything. Be mad at him. River, come on. Okay. This is not me wincing. This is my happy face.
If that is your happy face, remind me to hide when you're really happy.
Yeah. Looks like he's in pain.
Must be nice. You've been here like 4 years, babe. Try 40.
I'm gonna grab a physiology book.
Tell me something. I have no idea what physiology is.
Options: the Return of the Body Snatcher or the Senior Citizen Mosh Pit.
Rhonda, you're technically like 20 years older than everyone that's gonna be here tonight, so why don't you just tighten your girdle, girl? Just one question. He's looking right at there. Look, I need eyes up here. Eyes up here. He can't hear me. Okay, we need to. You're gonna love me. Well, that was fast.
Wow. Tighten your girdle, girl. Wow.
Okay, we need to answer this one question.
That is over the top.
Where is Mr. Anderson now? Right? I mean, is he really all right with someone just...
That was a bad idea.
You gotta look between the lines.
I'm reading between all the lines. I'm just seeing a bunch of white. As in paper. What do you know about chemistry? Besides baking pot brownies.
And then just use her to do body shots?
Oh my god, I miss those. Wait. Oh, I actually know a lot about chemistry.
Wow. Wow. Sassy is a way to put it.
Dude, you didn't see her face today. If you saw her face, you wouldn't have to deal with the
Probably includes spicy as well.
How's it going, you two? Still working on that whole trust thing, Mr.
You think they'd let me out of here? Stick this in my eye. Please don't.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna go to that thing in the library. I will save you the seat, man. You got this.
Savior!
He needs it. No. All right, I'm calling the timeout.
Is it ever gonna change? Am I gonna feel this way forever? Are you gonna be around for me to count? Oh, how things have changed. There's MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Still trying to figure out TikTok.
Didn't MySpace come back? Like Justin Timberlake part-owned it as like a musical site?
Don't worry, Dorothy Gale.
Trying to be like Spotify or something.
Right here in Oz.
It's very weird.
Leave high school eventually, right?
I remember signing up for it and I'm like, this is not the same, folks. Like they turned it into like a band camp or I don't know what else to call it. SoundCloud, basically. Like, no, bring back the actual MySpace. That way, you know, older millennials can escape to it.
Eddie.
What do you want from me, Simon? We could be in
We didn't
danger.
know
What
what
if I
we
never know what
had.
happens to them?
I can't leave them like this. Keep me alive, Simon.
Dude, this place looks like it hasn't been touched in years. Really?
For a second there, I seriously thought I crossed over. I wish she would be stuck with me here forever.
Yeah, we can dance until we die. You and I will be young forever. 'Cause you make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, I can't sleep. Let's run away, don't ever look back, ever look back. Oh, my heart stops when you look at me just for touch.
I like the vibe of this show so far. Seems pretty good. It's got its hilarity, of course. Also seems like it has its serious moments.
Yeah, of course. I love you too.
I just wanted to connect.
And I will say, the older I get, I still like shows and movies based around high school. And it's probably because it's so relatable. We've all been there. You know, we're getting older. It's a very transitionary period where you go from like awkward to like somewhat of an adult by the time you graduate. And it's such like a wholesome point in life where you're not paying bills, you don't have a job really. I mean, you might have like a little job high schoolers get, but it's not like serious. It's not going to affect your whole life if you get fired. Usually. It's just a very odd time that, you know, never really gets old or stale. Like, I don't know. We can all think back on it. Maybe it was a terrible experience at the school. Maybe you got bullied. Maybe it wasn't fun. Maybe bad things happened. But regardless, it's a very transformative time. Whether you went through something terrible or you just kind of enjoyed it, we all kind of can remember those moments, regardless of how old we get. Whether it was a good time or a bad time, it is very like forefront in your mind. You can easily recall those years. There's a lot of years that, you know, we live that kind of hard to recall. Like, do you remember when you were 6 years old? Maybe a day, a moment. You remember when you were, I don't know, 22, when you're 45. Maybe not. Maybe a day, maybe a moment. But it's weird because high school, you don't remember all the days, but you remember quite a bit of it. You remember a lot of it, which is something that I don't really think another chunk of time, other than maybe university, of course, where you kind of remember a good amount of it. I don't even remember that much of elementary school, or middle school. Something about high school just kind of sticks. I don't know why, I guess, but maybe the hippocampus is a little more developed, so you remember a little bit more. But I don't know. Something about it is just forever timeless.
And it feels like I'm not gonna have it in death either. Listen to me.
I thought the older I got, the more I would not really relate to
Never
it.
have to be alone again. Look, I know that feeling. Never quite connecting. But somehow, I've let you in.
Actually, the sad part, maybe, and this is a little cynical, but maybe I enjoy that stuff because it makes me feel younger.
I saw the glow again.
Takes me back to those years.
That's when
Maybe
I realized
that's
the
it.
letter. You need to hold it to get in and out.
God,
So
is
what
that
he-
sad?
Wait, so you're saying Mr.
But
Manfredo
I think that might be part of it.
So your key opened a door,
It's a way to rewind the clock.
and when you walked inside, you saw
Your own personal hell.
told you what was going on.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to apologize to me.
Taylor Swift, check. Kind of a running joke
Apparently feminist.
So you hate women?
that almost every stream I do has at least one Taylor Swift song.
I love you too, Simon.
And my parents are gonna lose it if they're dragged into a scandal. That would definitely be the last check they write to the school.
Baby, it's alright. Go ahead and take your time, but you gotta make your mind. Make your mind up. Got this on you. Tell me what you wanna do.
Wally, where's that yearbook?
It's in the library. Am I in trouble?
You may have uncovered our best lead yet. Janet got off the bus in Bingham County. Wally, you're a genius. Thank you. Thank you.
They here?
In their chairs.
How long has this person been dead?
Excuse me?
Oh, no. Okay.
You're invading my space, Blue Eyes.
He looks like someone I'd be friends with.
Okay, I love her.
That's Nicole, Xavier, Claire, and you guys pretty much know Simon. Simon, this is Charlie, Wally, Rhonda.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Form. Guys, this is Rhonda, Wally, Charlie.
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
I can't wait to graduate from this creepy school.
Must be nice.
Now, you've been here like 4 years, babe. Try 40.
Simon, remind them we can see and hear you guys.
They heard what you said.
Oh, sorry.
I love that interaction. That's awesome. Just based off that one interaction, I can tell this is pretty good. Dang. This is reminding me of something else slightly. Not really related, but it's kind of close. At least aspects of it.
Diagnose myself every week.
Like
why?
My church offers no absolutes. She tells me worship in the bedroom. The only heaven I'll be sent to is when I'm alone with you.
It's just a party to go to. It's not like it's a date.
And me to be with.
Why can't it be?
Amen. Amen.
I'd like to take a moment to honor those
Class of
who couldn't be with
1984.
us today.
Well, James.
Now, a moment of silence for our 1983 homecoming king, Wally Clark, a shining star taken from us way too soon.
Eddie.
What do you want from me, Simon? We could be in danger. What if I never know what happens to them? I can't leave them like this. Keep me alive, Simon.
Give me
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm Christian Flores, and this. Ooh, and.
I've on so much caffeine.
We're loopy. It's 3 a.m. We're loopy.
Oh, jeez.
We've done
I stand
3
up.
night shoots in a row.
I stand up into the shot. Hey guys, it's Sarah Yarkin. You're watching Hero Plus.
It's like that Disney. And you're watching Disney original movie.
Spicy.
Haunting or hunting?
Hunting.
No hunting.
Hunting.
Haunting.
Yeah, like you go scared of hunt.
Haunting.
Didn't work.
That's a whole different show if it's hunting.
She looks magnificent.
She just learned that word.
Oh, stop with that. It was fun. I guess you had to be there.
Somewhere I'll hang on till the chaos is through. Doomsday is close at hand. I'll book the marching band to play as you speak. I'll feel like throwing up.
If I go back and then I don't get to see you guys anymore, I don't get to talk to you.
They all have to leave high school eventually, right?
That is true. We all want out, and then we get out and we're like, I don't know, this real world thing kind of for the birds. it's not that great being an adult and growing up, but we have to do it anyway, you know? Have to do it anyway. Go ahead and throw that some love. Link down below in the video description on YouTube for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love as well. Check out the channel. There might be other videos you enjoy. Throw it in the Twitch chat for those watching live. Excellent final edit. Go ahead and look into some information on School Spirits. I think it looks like a good show, honestly, just from what we saw there. This kind of reminded me of this movie that came out in 2020. It's surprising that anything came out in 2020. But it's Words on Bathroom Walls, and it's based off a book, and it's not ghosts. It's actually a bunch of schizophrenic hallucinations of three people. So it's a high schooler. Three people that don't exist or aren't visibly present around them, causing mayhem, talking to them, etc. Similar, but not the same, right? Very tangentially related. But for some reason, I just immediately pictured this as soon as we started learning about, you know, these three ghosts that nobody else could see. And certainly it reminds me of, oh gosh, what is that called? Oh, God. Julie and the Phantoms. That's it. I was going to look it up. I couldn't remember it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Not Josie and the Pussycats. Julie and the Phantoms. That's it. School Spirits. American Supernatural Teen Drama. Premiered on Paramount Plus. Ugh. I hate that we have all these streaming services and we cannot just bear witness to all these potentially great shows without without subscribing to all these different things. Oh, it is just so messy. Messy. And then you have to choose which ones you like. What's a good time to do it? Maybe you join for a month, binge watch it, then cancel. It's just a lot of extra steps. Came out in March 9th, 2023. Series adapted from the forthcoming graphic novel. Interesting. Stars Peyton List, a bunch of other folks. Peyton List. I think I remember her in. Let's see. 7 Dresses. Was she in that I've seen? I'm not seeing it. I guess not. Weird. I thought I saw her in something. Anyway. Renewed for a 3rd season in March. This past March. Great. Fictional town of Split River, Wisconsin. The show follows Maddie, a teen girl stuck in the afterlife. investigating her own mysterious disappearance. She goes on a crime-solving journey as she adjusts to high school in the afterlife. But the closer she gets to the truth, the more secrets and lies. Teenager who suddenly finds herself among the spirits that inhabit Split River High School. Maddie cannot remember what happened to her, and she spends the first season investigating her possible murder. With all the spirits at the high school, she cannot leave the school grounds. Interesting. Very interesting. There's only 16 episodes so far, so it's pretty easy to catch up if you want to catch up. You just have to have Paramount Plus, apparently. All right, so both have 8 episodes. Oh, gosh. 8 episodes? I'm assuming by the time you finish the 8th, you're like, I want more. More. 8 per season. And look at the jump in this. Oh my gosh. From April 2023 to January 25, you had no episode. Oh, that is awful. It took that long? Grief. All right, let's see. Rotten Tomatoes reported an 83% approval rating with an average rating of 7.3 based on 18 critics. That's not bad. Website's critics' consensus reads, School Spirits leaves some of its promising potential untapped. The Peyton-less splendid starring performance makes this paranormal mystery a solid watch for anyone who remembers the phantom pain of growing up. There you go. I literally was talking about that. Super relatable. We all went through it. And that's what makes this stuff basically timeless. You can watch this when you're in your 70s and probably relate to it. You can watch it when you're in your 20s and probably relate. Variety wrote, without losing sight of the sorrow of Maddie's story, School Spirits managed to be surprisingly sparky and fun. Proof positive that there are new stories to tell about the institution no one would ever want to be stuck in for their entire. Our reporter said sometimes the familiar trappings of the high school genre can open the door for a show to do wilder and more inventive things than more allegedly mature shows. School Spirits unfortunately takes no such liberties. Well, I mean, you do want to still make it relatable. That's the thing. You definitely still want to make it relatable. There you go. That's pretty good. 90% for audience, 83% for critics. Not bad. What about season 2? Oh, is it on Netflix? That's good, at least. That is good. I like that. I'm at the point where I think every show should at least come out on Netflix so more people can see it. Maddie, the only way out is through. Ghost Point Blank. That's young teen girl became stuck in the afterlife and decided to investigate her mysterious death. Childhood car accident. Last day of her life, talked about the plan she had with Simon to go see Night of the Living Dead. Asked if it was okay if she brought her boyfriend Xavier, but Simon didn't think he would enjoy it as he didn't like horror movies. Went to class. Maddie spotted Xavier out in the parking lot sitting in his truck, so she lied and said she had to use the bathroom so she could go out there. Maddie surprised Xavier by showing up. He said he was skipping class to charge his phone, but couldn't find his charger. I don't know about that. Maddie knew he was lying, yep. I knew he was lying and I didn't even see the scene. Admitted he was skipping class to get elevated, shall we say. She told him she'd join in if he was driving into the sunset, but instead she'd leave him to it. Then she told him to lay off the recreational fun stuff, I guess, because she needed him to stay out of jail until homecoming so she didn't have to skip it alone. On her way back, she looked out the window and used her phone camera to zoom in to see Xavier on his phone, which she found suspicious because he'd said his was dead. Well, there you go. She got a text from Xavier, but her phone died before she was able to check it. Maddie spotted her mother parking at the school. She went and met her by the school entrance. Sandra told Maddie she'd left rehab because she didn't need it. Ooh, yikes. When Maddie woke up, she had a gap in her memory that covered the time and circumstances of her death. She adjusted to being dead. Charlie told her all the ins and outs of being dead. No one around her could see or hear her, of course. Very interesting. So at the heart of it, it's very much a investigative show. Something tells me Sandra is a very important part of that investigation. "18 at the time of her death. Hates cilantro. Probably says it tastes like soap." When her father died, Claire gave her a stuffed dog that she named Lola. Maddie would then relay this to Simon so he could prove to Claire that Maddie was still there. But Maddie is still alive. She has a scar, the key being the necklace that her father gave her. Sounded like she threw the necklace. Kind of interesting. I love the fact that the ghosts are dressed in whatever era clothing that they had. Kind of cool. Creates like a multi-era show or look or feel to it. That's very neat. She was dating Xavier, but was unaware he was also hooking up with Claire. Ooh. During their relationship, Maddie never allowed Xavier inside her home. They also never did the deed because Maddie said she didn't want her first time to be in an auto shop. She went to the homecoming dance with Wally, and they ended up kissing. Whoa. She had a strained relationship with her mother, who began drinking after her father died. That explains some of the conflict. Wally Clark, lovable ghost from the 80s, star football player in his glory days. Cause of death, neck snapped in football tackle. Eesh. Yeah, that can definitely happen. You have to tackle correctly. There is a correct way to do it. You have to move your head to like body. Playing football because his mother wanted him to play. A few weeks after starting his senior year of high school, celebrating his 18th birthday, accidentally killed by a football tackle at the high school homecoming game. September 30th, when he stumbled due to his injured knee, he was tackled and his neck snapped. Oh, okay. Gotcha. He was tackled. So he was probably running with the ball, stumbled because of his knee, and his head went down. And then, boom. Said he never made it off the field. When Maddie dies, Charlie brought her to the Split River High Afterlife support group. Later, Wally found her and introduced himself. She said she was trying to fill in some gaps in her memory, and he offered to help. While talking to Wally, Maddie realized she had her backpack and phone with her when she died, but didn't have those items with her in death. He said it might be good that she didn't remember everything, as he sometimes wished he could forget. Hmm. Interesting. I'm not going to go over like spoilery stuff. Try not to. Shares his name with Wally Clark from the 1932 film 70,000 Witnesses Who Suffered the Same Fate. Interesting. 1932. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Rhonda Rosen, ghost from the 60s. That's why she's dressed like a term beatnik, who was killed by her guidance counselor. What? Strangled by Mr. Manfredo. Oh my gosh. Good grief. Rhonda was killed by her guidance counselor. According to Rhonda, Mr. Manfredo was the nicest man she'd ever met. Cared about her in ways her parents never did. Encouraged her to do well, set her up to do well in the world. However, when she got her acceptance letter to Berkeley, went to show him, he changed. He got angry with her because he thought they were something other than what she did. What? Because he thought they were something other than what she... I don't even know what that... She would get into something else? She went to leave the office, but he killed her via strangulation. After her death, Rhonda joined the support group led by Mr. Martin. Rhonda asked her how she died. The whole group was surprised to find she didn't know, as everyone else in their group remembered their own deaths. Interesting. That is interesting. Got Charlie, who was Maddie's introduction to her new reality. Cause of death, anaphylactic shock. Charlie dated Emilio. They met soon after Emilio came to Split River as an exchange student while on a camping trip. Other students teased Charlie for being gay, but Emilio encouraged Charlie to come out anyway, believing he would feel better when he did. Charlie was furious and wrote Emilio a letter saying he never loved him and never wanted to see him again. Yikes. Then he went to drown his sorrows in some French fries. Nice. Which killed him because the school cafeteria cooked their fries in peanut oil, which he was allergic. Oh, that's... I remember that line from the edit. That's right. He says hearing the jokes the other students made about the gay kid dying because of he was allergic to nuts was worse than actually dying. Oh my gosh. Those jokes literally write themselves. Simon Elroy, one of Maddie's best friends. When his best friend Maddie's mom was sobering up, leaving Maddie alone in their home, Simon said they should throw a party, invited Nicole to join them. Before they could do that, Maddie suddenly disappeared. A few days after her disappearance, Simon and Nicole were struggling to sleep at a school assembly about Maddie's disappearance, but were upset the cheerleaders did a routine during it. Oh boy. At lunch the next day, Nicole asked Simon what he did when Maddie popped up out of nowhere. She showed him a memory on her phone of her and Maddie that had come up that day. She said she was sure Maddie would come back for HorrorCon and planned to buy them tickets. Maddie appeared to Simon again while he was in Miss Field's class and got him in trouble. Maddie told him to meet her in the auto shop. In the shop, Maddie defended her decision to date Xavier, saying he wasn't a bad person. Simon also found a guitar pick and a piece of frosted green plastic that appeared to be part own. So he eventually saw her, appeared to him. Xavier, one of the main characters, son of the sheriff, Maddie's ex-boyfriend. Xavier and Maddie were making out in the car, attempted to take things to the next step, saying he'd come prepared. Maddie said no because she didn't want the first time. When she mentioned that to Xavier, he got out of the car and killed the rodent by dropping a cinder block. Oh my gosh. Yikes. Xavier was in his truck waiting for Claire to come meet him when his girlfriend Maddie came out of nowhere and surprised him. He meant to send Claire a text to warn her off coming, but accidentally sent the text to Maddie instead. Oh my gosh. He lied and told Maddie that he was skipping class to charge his phone. And he disappeared after that. Interesting. Police hadn't found anything. Back to the school. I don't want to go over too much because I'm trying not to spoil it, because this show honestly looks pretty dang good. Like legit good. Nicole mailing Mr. Anderson. Matrix reference. God, how old am I? Nicole recorded a video of Mr. Anderson and Claire talking about Claire blackmailing him for good grades in exchange for her keeping quiet about some money he'd stolen from the school. She then used the video to blackmail him herself for a cut of the money, which she planned to use to go to school in Chicago after 2 different art schools. Told her portfolio wasn't good enough. Well, not everybody's a good artist. I know for a fact because I'm not. Claire, and to be fair, it's very subjective. Maybe those particular art schools were not going to enjoy your art, but maybe some others would. A year later, Claire, whom Xavier was cheating on Maddie. Yikes. She and Maddie were friends and neighbors until Claire's parents divorced and she went to live with her dad. Claire returned. She ignored Maddie. After Maddie's disappearance, Claire joined the search. She had reasons to apologize to her. I would say. Yeah, I would say. Namely for cheating with Xavier. Yeah. That's probably the big one. Sure. After Maddie hit Xavier with a truck, quote, Maddie hit Xavier with a truck, Claire was convinced to go to the police, but before she could, Simon came to the group and revealed to them that Maddie had been possessed by a dead student known as Janet Hamilton. The real Maddie's soul was stuck in the school. She found Maddie at, quote unquote, Maddie at a college party. Claire reassuringly told her that they were not going to the police and that she could go home. But after the rest of the group arrived, she was already gone. This is interesting as heck. I'm all about it. That is very interesting. I was absolutely enamored with that edit. Like that show looks like it's right up my alley. Very good. Very good indeed. That's going to do it for us today and the week. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. 5 amazing shows. Obviously, 2 of them were Charmed. I don't know how that happened. I randomly picked videos and I picked 2 Charmed videos. I don't know. I just let it lie, you know? But if I picked it, it was meant to be, right? Meant to be. But anyway, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm looking forward to it for sure. If you'd like to request your own videos and literally guide the stream, you can certainly do so. ToddReacts.com, season and series tiers. Join the Discord. Lots of great people in there. Super friendly. If you'd like to have conversations about things you're into. Maybe it's School Spirits. Maybe it's something else. Charmed even. Or Grey's Anatomy. Certainly. Join us. We don't bite. We're nice. We're very nice. As we continue to grow that community of people that enjoy what we enjoy. We're fans of everything. We're fans of what we're fans of, and we just talk about it with each other, and you can find people that are just as passionate about it as you are. And follow the Twitch channel if you're watching live or you want to watch live. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. All 13,800 of you that have already done so, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Glad you're here for the ride. Check out the winter collection of merch, leaving in just over 36 days before the summer collection shows up. Looking forward to that launch. Stay tuned on that. I got a little something up my sleeve on that one. And I'm not dropping any hints. No more hints. You're gonna be surprised. And yeah, I hope you have a tremendous weekend. Do something fun. Do something interesting. Eat something interesting. Read a book. Go to a park. I don't know. Coming up with ideas. A museum maybe. But I hope you have a good one with whatever you do. And report back here on Monday. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you on Monday when we journey around your fandoms. One more video at a time. Or one video at a time, I suppose. See you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.